You know, Froggy, have I ever said no to a Hal Herman bit? Oh, and the weather's supposed to get really nasty later today. Stand by for that. Can you guys remember, have I ever said no? Have I ever nixed? Have I said, no, I'm not doing that? When it comes to a Hal Herman Froggy little segment, I don't think I've ever declined or said no.
No, because they're usually good.
I'm
Why
just
would you say
thinking.
no?
I'm thinking that maybe the new request for airtime for a Hal Herman bit. I'm thinking that it might be kind of grossly negligent and dangerous potentially.
No.
Is what I'm thinking.
No.
All right. So today is Wednesday. The eclipse is Monday. So when would Hal Herman like to do Hal Herman's eclipse viewing safety tips?
I don't know. It's between you and Hal. You guys got to figure it out. What am I, Hal's agent?
I mean, if he's giving safety tips, MJ, it
Probably a good thing.
yeah. I mean,
Well,
I'm all for safety.
Do we do them this week because people would need a little time to prepare for eclipse viewing safety tips? We only get like 58% here in the Tampa Bay area, and I don't think that gives us any kind of a dim. You know, it's not like those that are in totality.
No.
Yeah. So we still have plenty of sunshine. You know, I haven't seen the forecast. What is it supposed to be like?
On Monday,
Yeah. What's the long-term forecast for Monday? Anyway, I don't want to get distracted here. Do we need Hal Herman eclipse viewing safety tips here on the MJ Morning Show? Yes or no, Fester?
I would like to hear them.
If you like your eyeballs.
I mean, I would like to hear them. I mean, I don't know that I'll follow them, but I'd like to hear them.
Are they genuine tips, or does he
of course.
talking about the same eclipse that we're all talking about, or is he?
No,
Everything
he's
he
talking
says is
about
genuine.
talking about a Mitsubishi eclipse.
It
Yeah,
could be.
That's what he's
Could be.
talking about. No, obviously it's based around the solar eclipse, which is going to happen on Monday. I just know where this is going to head. I know that it's going to be grossly irresponsible. I'm sure it's going to be very dangerous if anyone really followed Hal Herman's eclipse viewing safety tips.
You don't know that. You haven't heard them.
Yeah, well, listen, I think, Froggy, when you tell me that Hal Herman needs airtime for safety tips for the eclipse, I think I know where this is probably going.
It's eclipse tips with Hal Herman.
I'm guessing that it's going to lead to blindness.
No.
All right?
You know, that's
Maybe
irresponsible.
not blindness. Maybe just irreparable damage, maybe, but not blindness.
Maybe blindness.
Possibly. And I'd like to point out that Mitsubishi Eclipse has this like crossover vehicle that really is a sharp-looking vehicle for $26,000.
So they still make the Mitsubishi Eclipse?
Yeah, it's evolved kind of like a mini SUV-looking thing.
You know, Mitsubishi is kind of like an auto brand that you forget about.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's like, do they still make Mitsubishi cars? And I
Yeah.
guess they do.
There's
Yeah.
Mitsubishi dealerships.
Yeah, that's what. But it's sort of at least for me, it's kind of an afterthought model.
See, the sales lot's always empty.
Hold on, no. You know what? There's a Mitsubishi SUV out that has one of the ugliest front ends I've ever seen.
See, why you got to judge?
I think it's a current model, just clunky and chunky. It's like the Wagon Queen family truckster that Chevy Chase was driving in the vacation movies.
You're talking about the Mitsubishi Clunker, and it's really handles well.
The Mitsubishi Clunker. All right, so Froggy, when would Hal Herman need eclipse safety tips?
I don't know. Maybe Friday.
That's a good day.
Give you the weekend to get prepared.
All right, maybe Friday. All right.
Because Monday would be too late, probably.
All right, I'm going to have to disclaim the living crap out of this thing because I just wouldn't want anyone to really follow Hal Herman's eclipse viewing safety tips.
Or could it just be comedy?
No,
Well,
they're real tips.
Do we have to say? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well now you said they're real tips.
Comedy.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
No,
say
they're
there's
just the tips.
I
Hal
get it.
doesn't do comedy.
And they're real tips. No, we know that.
All
We
right,
know that.
all right, Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, on Friday, Hal Herman's eclipse viewing safety tips here on the MJ Morning Show. Yeah, I was looking at the timeline for the weather today. You know, we don't do much weather here on the MJ Morning Show. Do you think that would take us over the top?
You know,
Now, time for MJ Morning Show weather. Do you think that if we did regular weather updates on the show that would increase our listenership? Do you think we're not reaching maximum MJ Morning Show potential because we don't do, weather every 10 minutes?
Here, I got it.
Go ahead.
Tampa, 74 degrees. St. Pete, 74. And in Clearwater, 73 degrees.
Wow.
I'm Roxanne Wilder on the MJ Morning Show.
There you go. That's all she has to do.
Perfect.
we have a weather person all of a sudden. What's the forecast today?
Today for the immediate Tampa Bay
I was
area.
asking Roxanne,
Oh,
our
geez.
weather person.
I don't think she knows that.
Roxy showers.
I just know the temperature right now. I'm a right now kind of person.
All right,
She's
well,
giving you the weather, the window weather.
Let me tell you, 1 to 5 p.m. today, they're saying that we're going to have the wind. Speaking of the window is going to be bad weather. So immediate Tampa Bay area, like, Hillsborough County, Pinellas County, and then, into Polk. 1 to 5 this afternoon. Looks like some nasty thunderstorms, wind, a little bit, it's coming out on that slant. So our northern counties like Hernando, Citrus, so those counties, they're going to get it a little bit earlier because it's coming in on that diagonal, and then it will hit like Pinellas and Hillsborough into Polk, and then a little bit later on for Manatee and Sarasota counties as far as the weather. But we're supposed to have some, very heavy wind, and they're saying rain. So if you look at the immediate Tampa Bay area, Hillsborough, Pinellas, we're looking at maybe between 1 and 2 inches of rain later today. So 1 to 5, going to have some nasty weather, they say. But who knows? So wind, hail, potentially a tornado springing up. Remember the last time they said this, a week or so ago, a week and a half ago? Remember it was like a dud.
It was nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, but I do see on the radar, I see the line out in the Gulf, and it is, heading this way. 6:07 as we just get started. Got a busy Wednesday show. Very excited about a lot of the content today, so stick around and find out. Back in minutes. First, traffic. Pat has the latest.
Well, that construction.
Morning Show, Q105 MJ with Fester, Roxanne, Froggy, Andrew, the producer, 6:20 here on a Wednesday. It is a Powerball night. And are they still holding? I didn't check since yesterday, but are they still holding at an estimated $1.09 billion, Fester?
That is the total sum to the dollar.
Look, did they unblock Powerball as a website that was unsafe for employee viewing?
They did.
It looks like, how many years did it take us to get that done?
3.
I think so.
Honestly, yeah.
I think so. So we have, I guess, our corporate. Do we have one of those deals where, like, the internet goes through corporate first before it gets to us? Isn't that what's going on here, right?
In the lightning fast speed the internet works, yes, it goes through a corporate filter.
Whatever the deal is.
No dirty sites pop up, unfortunately.
Yeah,
no gambling sites pop up.
Right. And one of those sites that was blocked was Powerball, in addition to Mega Millions. And the filter for our internet here at the radio station, they considered Powerball and Mega Millions as gambling websites. So obviously, these big, huge multi-state lotteries are a topic of conversation, and we were blocked. So I had to use my cell phone, to use my data on my cell phone to go to any of these websites. So Fester just went to Powerball.com, and it looks like it's unblocked now. And it took us, 3 years to get that done?
It's amazing the things we can accomplish in 3 years.
Yeah, like the new studio we were promised. When we relaunched the MJ Morning Show here, I spoke with Travis Daly, our former operations guy. I spoke to him yesterday for a bit.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, you ever get your new studio?" I'm like, "No." However,
it's coming now.
It is looking like it is happening because finally their backs were up against the wall because our equipment is failing. And we could be off the air at any moment. Hopefully, this equipment stays online until the new studio is ready, because this stuff could fail at any minute. We lost half the studios. We lost, Orlando down the hall on Wild a couple of months ago. Their whole console died, and then we have a big room that's used for production, and it's an emergency on-air studio, and that room died, and our AM station that died. So that was one of the central brains that died. And then the other stations that are on the second central brain, Q105, our country station, QYK, Maxima, our Spanish station. So the second brain is hanging on by a thread. But if that dies before the new studios are done, then that's a big, giant mess. But, 3 years to get Powerball.com unblocked.
Yeah, it's at $1.09 billion.
$1.09 billion tonight. Remember I did the breakdown? That in some states with federal taxes, and then if you get hit with a state tax, like here in Florida, there's no state tax on a lottery win. You're going to pay the federal tax. And surprisingly, California, where they tax you out the waz. California does not tax on lottery winnings, which is remarkable. All right, so Powerball at $1.09 billion. I had a conversation with Julian, my son, yesterday, and he was all excited because on, was it Powerball or Mega Millions? He had either the Powerball or the Mega Ball, and he won like $12, and he was all excited.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, then we had a conversation about the odds, and it must have been Powerball. It was Powerball. So the last Powerball drawing, which was Monday. Yeah, that's what it was. It was Monday, and Julian had a Powerball, and he bought his up in New York since he's an NYU student, and he was excited. Hey, I got the Powerball. And then he was also saying that the Powerball was the same for the last two drawings, that the Powerball on Monday night was, I think, 23. Yeah, there it is. Look, Monday night's Powerball was 23, but I think he said that Saturday night's Powerball drawing, that the Powerball was also 23. But the odds of that happening, I don't think are that outrageous because there are only, how many Powerballs are there? You have, is it like 26 Powerballs?
I have no idea.
So the numbers for the regular white balls, all right? What is it?
I have to go into the rules of the game.
Wait a second. Who just chortled?
Oh, yeah,
I think
talking about white balls,
I mean,
buddy.
if they really wanted to make this game fun, they'd make the Powerball,
But
blue.
the
Oh.
the Powerball, there are not that many numbers in the actual Powerball. So the odds of having the same Powerball drawn, 2 drawings in a row, it's not that outrageous. But, Julian recited to me how he knows, and I'm glad to hear this. He's like, Dad, yeah, I know that the odds are awful. I've always heard you say that. And then he recited that the odds of winning Powerball are 1 in 292,200,000 or 300 something thousand.
Right.
I mean, the odds are just horrific. Anyway, somebody does win, but it's not going to be me. I'm very comfortable and confident in saying that I could buy 10 games for every Powerball drawing every single time, 3 times a week. And I am very confident that over the course of my lifetime, I will never, ever, ever, ever win the Powerball. And then I'm essentially, if I'm buying 10 games with the Power Play, so $3 a ticket, 10 games is $30. I might as well, as I've always said, just take the $10 or the $30 rather, and just flush it down the toilet, or just take $30, light it on fire in the parking lot, and video it and put it up on my Instagram.
I mean, that would clog the sewer system. The other one would lead to air pollution. I mean, really, you can't win it all.
Yeah, I think I'm anyway, so still people will be rushing. And the other thing we got into the conversation about is no winner Saturday, no winner Monday, and you look at the number of people, the millions and millions of Americans that are playing these games in all of the various states, and to have no winner, it just shows you how lousy these odds are,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, I had somebody send me a little blip here, but then I hit the link and it went to like a summary. I don't have the full story, but a listener last night said, "Hey, MJ, Fester, see if we can find this. Google dog pees in freezer at Trader Joe's."
Is there video?
I don't think there's video. All right, Google dog pees in freezer at Trader Joe's.
Someone might mistake those for like lemon popsicles.
Oh,
wow, you don't know.
Would he
how
pee
that-
right in a mold of a popsicle?
Right, landed next to the stick.
Yeah, peed right in a mold with a wooden stick inserted, and then it froze, and then it was mistaken as a Trader Joe's.
Yeah. Then it was packaged accidentally
And then it was
by lemon pee
You
dog
laugh.
PVs.
I'd like to see the manager. This lemon popsicle tastes like dog.
Yeah, but how do all these bizarre things end up in our food? Like plastics and stuff. This could happen.
Fester, did you find this online? Do you have this? Because I printed it out, and it just people very angry at an owner of a dog who peed in the freezer at Trader Joe's. Now, this doesn't make sense to me because the Trader Joe's freezers they're about, 3.5 feet off the ground, 4 feet off the ground, and it's that old bin. It's like the bin freezer that's open.
Are all Trader Joe's like that? I don't know. I mean, there's hundreds of locations, and some of them might have the stand-up door freezer.
The door freezer, like a lot of supermarkets have the door freezer, as you point out. But have you found?
I only see it at one place, or a couple places. Daily Dot does a story on it.
Yeah. There was another one right there. Hold on a sec. Molly says that because of the dog owner, the Trader Joe's workers were forced to clear out and disinfect the entire freezer because the dog peed on the products. Come on. How does a dog pee on the frozen goods at Trader Joe's?
I have to see a video of it, first of all, but if it's the door freezer, if you're thinking the chest freezers that we have at the one in South Tampa.
Yeah, the chest freezer, the old school supermarkets,
right,
where you have the chest freezer where it's like a trough, right?
Yeah.
It's like a trough freezer. But how does a dog? Come on, was it a Great Dane? Was it like a Scooby Doo sized dog that lifts its leg and
Could have been.
It just.
Could have been a Weimaraner.
Yeah, it could have been a Doberman. Could have been a big
No,
lab.
listen. I think it's a Weimaraner and a Doberman. Any large dog, I don't think if it's one of the chest freezers, I can't believe that a dog can get. They're not big enough to get the leg up and then pee in the free. And if it's a female dog, it's even more complicated.
Maybe the owner was holding the little dog.
Why are you so bent on it being a chest freezer just because we know of one location that has that?
No,
Usually they're all uniformed.
All the Trader Joe's I've been in, I don't think I've ever seen the stand-up freezers with the doors.
All three that you've been in?
I've been
out
in
of
more.
the hundreds. I mean, it doesn't even give a location as
I've
to where
been
this
in
happened.
more than 3 Trader Joe's.
Five.
What do you think? They have different freezer manufacturers for every Trader Joe's? What an idiot.
Anyway, I mean, what?
He's talking
Talking to Fester.
Oh.
I mean, why would they have one certain sort of freezer in 3 stores and then different freezer in the other stores?
Because of space and planning.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to add up.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's just the oddity of the dog peeing on the free. Like cats will pee anywhere. Just put it in your face. My cat, as soon as I had a baby.
You have a cat?
I used to have a cat. I used to have 2 cats.
Cats are,
And as soon
awesome.
as I had my first child, my male cat would go to the bathroom everywhere. Not happy.
Yeah, he was jealous.
Not happy.
So why did the owner have the dog? Was it a service animal or what? And you have all these people that are entitled that think they can bring their dogs everywhere. And it's not like you have a disabled individual that has a service dog or a blind person that has a seeing eye dog. You know, you have these people that think they can bring dogs everywhere. Do you remember that the whole Publix side? Remember Publix put up a sign that said that you can't bring your dog in the store unless it's like a service animal. Remember that?
Right.
And we had a tip on that. We did that story like a week before it really broke, that the signs went up, and we talked about it, and then it kind of made the news like a week later after we talked about it, that Public stores were putting up little notices that, yeah, you just can't bring your dog into the store. But I still see it. You know, you've seen in South Tampa, I've seen people just walking their little Shih Tzus, through Publix. And maybe it's been a while because Publix was cracking down on that.
As a former Chihuahua owner,
Yep.
They never stop you.
6:32 at the MJ Morning Show. Early morons in the news. Next, a very delicious pile of idiots will happen momentarily here on the MJ Morning Show. Got a... Stewart commercial that just ran. All right, hold on a minute. I don't know, maybe I'm a little whacked here this morning, but we just played a commercial for some product that Martha Stewart was pushing. Hang on, man. Let me shut this music off here. Right? Hang on. Why is it playing again? How do I shut the damn thing off? Shut it off. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Martha Stewart, moments ago, if you were listening intently to the commercial break, just moments ago, you heard. Oh, it was Skechers. Martha Stewart for Skechers. And for whatever reason, in my head, I heard something different. All right, so here's the actual commercial just moments ago.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project.
So what I hear is, and now Martha Stewart for low security federal prisons.
Oh, come on. That was 20 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, Martha Stewart's a mogul. Big deal. Yeah.
How many people forgot that she did time in a minimum security federal lockup?
Dude, by the grace of God, I haven't done time in the minimum security lockup. Who cares?
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers.
And now Martha Stewart for low security federal prisons, right?
Wow, that's what you heard? You got to get your hearing checked.
I hear now Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg's best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, she's more popular than ever.
Oh, yeah. Hang on a sec. So maybe something like instead of...
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers.
And now Martha Stewart for a sketchy pot dealer. So,
you should replace both of those words with moguls and have built empires, of which MJ is actually quite admirationish of. You admire?
Admirable?
What?
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Martha Stewart.
Admiration-ish?
What Snoop has done to his career, and Martha, even though she served time in a minimum security prison, is amazing.
All right. So we move on with early morons in the news. White House reporters that ride Air Force One, I guess, have been ripping off Air Force One of all kinds of like premium customized logoed items on the airplane that you're not supposed to take.
Of course.
You realize that Air Force One, whatever plane the president flies on is designated as Air Force One, but we all tend to think of Air Force One as the big, huge 747 derivative of which.
I thought it was just one plane. That was the one he takes?
No.
You telling me if he's on a crop duster, that's
Air Force One.
That is correct. You exactly right.
a parasail?
That's Air Force One.
He's floating behind a boat.
That's
on Air Force One.
That's Air Force One.
This is
So
insane.
Listen,
Air Force One delineates that the president is on board.
Exactly.
Not necessarily this is a particular vehicle.
That, you know what?
Wow, that was
Wow.
really...
Fester put that succinctly. But
Wow.
What
I'm admiration of the way you put that.
So what?
Thank you.
Look at that. Fester sounded intelligent 10 seconds ago, and 2 minutes ago he sounded like a complete blithering idiot.
Are you kidding me? Somebody's using my word now.
I'm admiration of the way you use
That's
that.
taking off.
All right.
I'm changing the language,
So
man.
Air Force One, for the most part, we designate Air Force One as the Boeing 747. There are two versions that they have. They have two different ones. But technically speaking, whatever airplane the president is flying on, it's Air Force One. So if they don't take the 747 and they take the smaller 757, then that's Air Force One. Whatever the president flies on is Air Force One. Okay. But on the big Air Force One, if they fly the 747 derivative, there are all kinds of customized presidential Air Force One items like glassware. And there's a problem that the reporters that are flying on Air Force One are ripping the stuff off. You know, it's like sticky-fingered people at a hotel that will just steal whatever is not, like, bolted down. And that's true.
It's like they think they get their own little swag bag after they've ridden on Air Force
Exactly.
One.
Why wouldn't you steal it?
And you know what happens when the president travels? You have a whole press corps that travels with the president. They fly on Air Force One. But some White House reporters have been stealing everything from pillowcases, glassware, plates,
Of course, it's from the president's plane.
as souvenirs. And
I would.
now the White House, the press office, has had to issue a warning to the reporters flying on Air Force One. Quit stealing our crap. We know that you're admission. What is it, Froggy?
Admirishamish. I admire Shamish. I forgot
Exactly.
it already.
Our items that are logoed as Air Force One with the presidential seal, but they've warned the reporters, stop stealing our stuff. In an off-the-record email sent to members of the White House Correspondents Association last month, the journalists that cover the president were scolded for ripping off a variety of items which were embossed with the presidential logo.
Yeah, Caitlin Collins was caught keystering an ashtray.
What?
Just what I heard.
First of all, I don't think Caitlin Collins is part of the White House press corps
She used to be.
anymore.
She used to be.
Yeah, she used to be.
I forgot who she
Yeah.
was for a second.
Yeah, Froggy's got a thing for Caitlin
Oh,
Collins
she's
on
the hottest.
CNN.
She's
So,
the bomb.
MJ, you're on Air Force One. And you get a cup that has like a little gold. Was that a lame on the outside? What is that
A
called?
gold leaf or something.
That says Air Force One, seal of the President of the United States.
You're not supposed to take it.
That's coming home with me.
Well, then
Dude.
don't logo it all up
Yeah.
and make it look so stealable.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy who has 48 Outback knives, okay? So, I mean, that is coming home.
Do you also
with me.
steal the wooden bread boards as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, that's
You know,
how he disciplines his kids.
those
Have
are
you keistered those?
All right.
Ouch.
You've asked me two totally separate questions.
Yes and yes.
The White House Correspondents Association is headed up by NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell. She's been there for a long time, and she is warning her fellow journalists that removing such items from Air Force One was against the rules. Stop it. And reflected poorly on the press pool as a whole that they're ripping off the Air Force One logoed items. Can you imagine that? You got to tell the press to stop stealing from Air Force One.
Why are they giving the press such nice stuff? Why can't they use paper cups with the president's seal on it, or paper napkins?
Red Solo cup with the presidential seal on it.
That's right.
Too soon, man. He just died.
Who?
That guy.
Oh, that's right.
Or Toby Keith?
Toby Keith.
He died 2 months ago.
Yeah,
okay.
too soon.
It's all right.
Moving along. Next early moron in the news story. This is kind of skin crawling here. A former Washington State high school teacher will avoid jail time after she had sex with a 17-year-old student while her husband was off on a hunting trip. So her husband's off hunting, and she's hunting for some 17-year-old crotch.
Yeah, she's a cougar.
All right.
What's the matter with her?
She's a predator.
Yeah. And guess how old McKenna Kindred, the teacher, is?
Okay, with a name like McKenna.
Yeah, McKenna's kind of a young name.
Yeah, oh, hey.
70.
Hey, you guys are onto something. 70.
I don't know too many people in the senior home named McKenna.
25. 25 years old. 25-year-old teacher. Her husband's off on a hunting trip, and she's banging a 17-year-old student.
Yeah, she just needed to wait, X amount more months.
For real? What the hell?
Anyway, the bottom line. Well, no, that's not true. Roxanne, that is
not
wrong.
as his teacher, not
That
as his
is
teacher, and not
wrong.
as a married woman. But I mean, as far as legalities, right?
No, legalities. If you're a teacher in most municipalities, that you can't say, oh, I want to have relations with this student, but, oh, he's 17 or she's 17. I'll just wait till they turn 18.
Well,
no, if you're the teacher in most states, you're an authority figure, and if you're a teacher, you still can't get it on with an 18-year-old student, which technically would be of legal age, but not in the educational circles.
I'm sorry. I should have said she should have waited a couple months, quit her job, gotten a divorce, and then we have a perfect little, love affair between 18-year-old boy and 25 and a half, 26-year-old woman.
Anyway, the inappropriate relationship with the 17-year-old began back in June of 2022. When the minor discovered Kindred's Instagram account and the two began messaging each other. So it was a student, but I guess it wasn't her student. And, she pleaded guilty to amended charges, so she's going to avoid jail.
Okay, how was the hunting trip?
Yeah,
What'd you get?
And I don't have any information whether the husband on the hunting trip and McKenna are still together after the little escapade. But listen, don't if you're a teacher, don't mess around with students, whether they're underage or of age. I mean, clearly, I think that goes without saying. All right, 6:51 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105 on a Wednesday. When we get back, we start the 7 o'clock hour, which will include an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ, and that's on the way in just a bit. If you're looking to make... goes on for a little longer. Hang on. What are we gonna just a little more. All right, you got the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hey, Froggy, get in here, man. You're going to want to see this. In fact, we're going to bring back a classic Froggy performance that happened live on the MJ Morning Show. And if you just heard my teaser a few moments ago, it is Kelly Ripa related.
Yes.
Oh God.
Do you know this story?
Oh, they kind of stepped in it.
And then they stepped backwards in it, got it all over their shoes, and yes.
Yeah.
I want to think about her stepping and stuff. She's got nice feet.
Then they're on the sidewalk on the curb trying to scrape it all off and everything, and then it's all like smashed into the
crevices,
into the sole of your shoe, and you know, like with a good sneaker, you got the pattern under there, and it's all just it's all jammed up in there.
Pick it out.
Then you got to get a little twig, and you're sitting on the side of the curb, and you got a twig, and you're trying to just scrape all the little stuff out of there from because you stepped in the poop.
That's exactly what happened.
We've all been there, I think. Yes, I don't think we've talked about Kelly Ripa on this show for quite some time. Although her husband, Mark Consuelos, isn't he from Tampa?
Yes, he is. He's from Tampa.
Didn't he do mail reviews at streamers?
He did.
Wasn't that his gig?
No, it was
or I don't know if it's streamers.
Stingers, whatever. Streamers, Stingers. So, which was the one that was up on Northdale Mabry in the shopping center over on the right?
Oh, that was Stingers.
That was Stingers in there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's what happened. And, of course, I think people, they really identify, I guess, Kelly Ripa with the Regis days, right? Regis and Kelly, right?
And then let's not forget Michael Strahan.
Yeah, I mean, she's had a successful career. She started with Regis,
right?
But then she had Strahan. She had
Ryan Seacrest.
Well, hang on a second. Let me. I can't even keep this straight. But there's a problem. There's a big issue, which I'll get to in a second. All right. So first it was Regis and Kelly.
Correct.
And then after Regis retired, it went to, was it Michael Strahan or was it Ryan Seacrest?
I think it was Ryan, right? Who came first? Was it Ryan or Strahan?
Who the hell knows? It doesn't matter. Anyway, so Ryan, how long did Ryan Seacrest do that show with her?
A couple of years.
And then Michael Strahan. And then finally, they just paired her up with her husband, Mark Consuelos, from Tampa Bay area.
Yes, the one man who will not leave her.
Well, as far as we know. Listen to what happened. This week, Regis. This week, Kelly and Mark, with Kelly and Mark Live, whatever they call the show, they're on break. So they're rerunning shows. Did nobody look at the subject matter? Do they not have like a cataloged list of everything discussed on every single show?
No.
Yeah, well, most shows do.
We don't. We are a best of. We don't really look at the news of the day and analyze that 20-minute segment.
All right, now that you say that, sometimes when we do a best of, when we're on vacation, sometimes some things are... hey, Andrew, what was the thing that I mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago that when we ran a best of show, didn't you have some weather alert in the middle of one of our segments?
Yeah, in the middle of one, there was a flood warning for some local area.
Yeah, you know what? yeah. Hey, Andrew, you got to make a note of that. So, you know what?
Note to self.
What this tells me, you could easily be an employee on the Kelly and Mark Consuelos show. All right?
Send your application now, Andrew.
Exactly.
Good for you, pal.
I wonder if someone's going to get fired over this. Here's what happened.
So timely. My goodness.
And then we're going to play a Froggy classic. We're going to go into the MJ Morning Show time machine. Here's what happened. Yesterday, they reran a Live with Kelly and Mark episode where she's pandering and begging, essentially, for Sean Diddy Combs to allow her on his private yacht.
Oh, God. Kelly.
So this was an episode that aired last year, like a year ago, and Ripa apparently was begging and fawning over P. Diddy and his unbelievable mega millions yacht. And it's like, oh, come on, Sean, would you please invite me on your yacht? I want to go on your yacht. Oh, but I want an invitation. I want to spend some time on Sean Diddy Combs' yacht. And she's going on and on, apparently, yesterday on an episode of Kelly and Mark Live. And of course, that didn't age well, especially with the sex trafficking search warrants and raids on both of his houses in Miami and Beverly Hills last week.
Oh, Diddy has everything cameraed up. He probably has the yacht cameraed. He would have had video of Kelly and Mark going at it on the yacht.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Hot.
reverse cowgirl or something, or, you know.
Kelly.
Yeah, all of it. You name it.
She's a spinner.
So
She's a tiny little thing. I ran into her in a restroom one time in Tampa. I think it was 1509.
Did she blow that thing up with her turd?
My Froggy, stop it!
hey, you,
Froggy,
do not
stop
go in there.
it! Stop it! What is
Kelly.
wrong with you?
I can't imagine.
It is,
No, we were just washing our hands
It is
together.
7:08 in the morning. I don't need to hear that.
Well, it's hot bathroom talk.
People are having breakfast right now. I don't. All right, so hold on a minute. You ran into
Kelly Ripa,
at what? Where was it?
1509.
Is that on South Howard?
I don't think it exists anymore, does it?
I don't know.
I have no idea. That
know,
was Ybor City back in the day.
Maybe I was never. I remember the name, but I was never there. I never went.
Yes, it was upstairs, and she was there with her husband, and she and I were in the restroom together, and we were washing our hands, and I was like, "Hi, Kelly," and I knew. Remember, I told you I knew somebody on soap opera, and it was like her sister soap opera. Like he was on One Life to Live, and she was on All My Children. So I was like, and I watched All My Children when I was a kid.
So you said hello to Kelly
yeah,
Ripa.
in a very like fangirl way.
Oh, hi, Kelly. And was this when she was with Regis?
She was with good question.
I know. I ask only good questions here on the MJ Morning Show.
Okay.
What was the time frame?
She may not have been with Regis yet. I have to see when
What-
she started with
What year
him.
was it?
She may just have been on All My Children.
You
I
know,
might have just been fangirling because she was on All My Children.
And did she say to you, "Oh my God, are you Roxanne Wilder from Bay News 9?
Yes, I am.
I caught your sports on the 9s."
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
That's weather. Sports on the 8th.
Whatever it is. Well, I don't know.
No, she absolutely didn't. Because I'm going back into this memory now. I wasn't even married. I was I think I was working as an accountant then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you weren't
just
even
out of college.
You
maybe?
were not in media yet.
No.
That's even before your Bay News 9 job?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And that was before your time here with Mason, before you joined us, right?
Yeah, I've been around the
Wow.
media circuit here.
Yeah. So this is before your whole media career.
Yes.
Mason Dixon, Q105.
You know, I spoke to Mason last night. Mason's doing fine, everybody.
Okay.
I spoke to Mason last night, unfortunately, about a mutual friend of ours in radio, Randy Kabrick, which known him for years. 7-11 here on the MJ Morning Show. Let's go back to the archive. Speaking of Kelly Ripa, Froggy, do you still have your infatuation with Kelly Ripa?
I've sort of moved on from Kelly.
Well, yeah, because you're talking about her ripping stuff in the restroom at 1509 in Ybor or
He was
whatever.
just asking a human bodily question.
right.
So
She's ripping them.
Well, Froggy,
Back to like 20 whatever years ago, I was very infatuated with her these days.
so much so that Froggy wrote,
This is when I
and-
jumped through the table at the end of the song, right?
and you performed a song about Kelly Ripa live on the MJ Morning Show.
9 a.m. on a Monday morning.
Yeah, this sounds in tune.
Getting excited to see Kelly, you are so special to me. Special to me.
Yeah, this is Froggy's Ode to Kelly Ripa.
9:30 on a Monday morning. There she sits so nice.
It's like creepy and stalkerish.
Do naughty things to her.
Hold on, wait a second.
Naughty things.
Oh, hang on.
She's
Hey,
so
hang on. Stop it. Hang on. Hang on. Hold on. Stop it. Did you say you want to do naughty things to her?
that's the song.
I can't remember.
The song was a sexual homage
Oh,
to
my
Kelly.
God. Hang on a minute.
Day morning, there she sits so nice. Wanna do naughty things to her. Naughty things with ice, she's so hot. Kelly, rip my clothes off.
Kelly ripping my clothes off.
You got to fast forward to the end. The end's the best.
One of the most genius lyrics of all time. Kelly ripping my clothes off.
Okay, what year was this?
This is
2006.
Somewhere around there.
YouTube.
If you look at the back, you can see the date on the sign in the back.
YouTube says 15 years ago that it was posted on YouTube. So
Naughty things to her. Naughty things with ice. She's so hot. Kelly, rip my clothes off. Rip 'em off tonight. Don't ask questions.
are you making this up as you go along?
The best part of this clip is the end and Joey B when I jump through the table. What's wrong with you? What's that noise?
Oh, here it is. So Froggy now is on top of the counter at our old studio, and he jumps through a table.
Oh! Jesus, Mary and Joseph! What the hell is wrong with him? What the hell is wrong with you?
And then Froggy jumps off of the counter onto
Amazing.
one of those folding tables and just cracks it in half.
That was the birth of the Froggy Fall concert series.
Yeah. And it only grew.
And then there's like, we got to do this every week. I'm like, oh, God.
If you want to find that clip, a classic clip, you know what?
I'll put it up on our socials.
Let's
It's so blurry and crappy. You can't even see it.
I'll tell you, let's put this thing up on mjmorningshow.com. Andrew, give Andrew a few minutes, and we'll get this thing up on mjmorningshow.com, and it'll be on As Heard on the MJ Morning Show. So we'll put it up on the website. Give us a few minutes, mjmorningshow.com. So Kelly Ripa, apparently they don't have a good list of their archive shows, and they shouldn't rerun a show where she's begging Sean Combs to allow her on her yacht when he was just raided by feds last week with the sex trafficking investigation.
Yeah, that is her shtick, though, right? I could see her saying that. It's the producer's fault.
7:15 at the MJ Morning Show. We start an hour and 20 minutes of non-stop MJ next. We are loaded. An hour and 20 minutes when we get back. Hey, I want to talk about... 20 minutes of nonstop MJ right now. It is 7:27 here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. We highly appreciate you listening to the program. What is today? Today's Wednesday, so you got to hurry. You only have another day here. Get your guess in on the Madonna concert tomorrow to win a $1,000 gift card from International Diamond Center, $1,000. You want to hear about the easiest contest that we've done in a long time? All you have to do is guess what time Madonna goes on stage. It's our MJ Morning Show, Q105 Madonna Concert Clock Watch. And the deal is, listen, this is just like a little fun swipe that Madonna has been late to a lot of her shows. I think her New York concert, she was like 2.5 hours late. Some fans even filed a lawsuit because of her tardiness. So we thought we'd do the Madonna Concert Clock Watch. Madonna is in town tomorrow night. So Thursday night, tomorrow night, Madonna's rescheduled concert. Remember, she was supposed to be here in September, but she had the illness. She said she almost died. So Madonna is still alive, and she will perform tomorrow night. But the question is, what time will she actually walk out on the stage? All you have to do is guess, when will Madonna walk out on the stage, the exact time she appears on stage. The person that gets it or is closest will win a $1,000 gift card to IDC, International Diamond Center. This is easy. You go to mjmorningshow.com. Look for the Madonna graphic. Look for the Madonna Concert Clock Watch. Click on it. It's right on mjmorningshow.com. Fill out the form and just guess what time Madonna's actually going to hit the stage. And whoever comes closest or nails it wins the $1,000 gift card from IDC, International Diamond Center. So good luck. It's all on mjmorningshow.com right now. I never thought that citrus, a comment about citrus and orange, would generate so much commentary. I'll get to that here in just a moment. I mentioned a little while ago, Fester, about the eclipse and a lawsuit, and you asked the very reasonable question, who the hell do you sue over an eclipse?
Well, you can't sue the moon or the sun, right?
We got a couple of eclipse things, and we'll start easing into my pile of massive eclipse-related information. And also, I don't know if you heard the show first thing this morning, but Froggy has requested special time for Hal Herman later this week because Hal Herman wants to do a segment on eclipse safety viewing. Okay. What could possibly go wrong with this segment? So, Froggy, fill me in here. So, Hal Herman how much time does Hal Herman need on the MJ Morning Show later this week?
He told me he has about 100 tips, so maybe an hour. Cool.
Yeah, it's not going to be an hour. What? And he doesn't have 100 tips. All right, so solar eclipse viewing safety tips from Hal Herman. Let's do it Friday. Let Hal know 7:45 or so on Friday. Does that work?
That works.
All right. So, folks, Hal Herman. Why do I think I'm going to have to interrupt incessantly?
That's all you ever do to Hal.
And disclaim the crap out of Hal Herman's eclipse viewing safety tips.
It's going to be real tips, so I don't know what you're expecting.
Why don't we just call it MJ interrupting instead of Hal Herman tips?
What could possibly go wrong with Hal Herman, Froggy, delivering safety tips for viewing the eclipse on Monday?
He's also very busy. He's in rehearsals with Hal Herman. He's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got the bobbleheads coming out.
Oh, that's right.
Hang on a minute.
That's big.
The bobbleheads are not a done deal.
Wait, the amount of feedback I got personally is incredible. I got so many messages of people wanting the bobblehead. Fester got 100 texts.
Yeah, how many people really want a Hal Herman bobblehead? Who's going to pay $14.95 or whatever it is, or $29.95 for a Hal Herman bobblehead?
No, that might be the wholesale cost. for a small run.
Well, it depends.
It's going to be like $100.
It depends. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, pre-order your Hal Herman bobblehead right now for $129.95.
But it comes with an autographed card.
All right. It's not a done deal.
Should be.
I'm waiting for pricing from, what's her name, Tracy?
Yes.
How about we get a sponsor to sponsor it?
Yeah, like what if Hal Herman's like cleaning a carpet with like a zero res machine or something?
Yeah, zero res.
You got 800 endorsers. How about we pick one of them and they endorse the bobblehead?
Or like Hal Herman's leaning on like an Andrew Duncan sold sign or something like that.
All
That's
right.
brilliant.
7:33 at the MJ Morning
Ooh,
Show.
they could move all the bobbleheads, thousands and thousands of them, in a two college brothers
truck.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Hey?
All right. Anyway, I just don't
See, if it was an MJ bobblehead, he'd be all about it. He's just jealous of
No,
Hal.
I just don't think it's worth.
Jealousy is a stinky cologne.
How many people would really order a Hal Herman bobblehead? I would imagine
Hundreds.
I would imagine the cost is going to be $20-$30 a
Yeah.
piece.
$29.99.
That's what I don't
$34.99.
think that there's going to be a huge demand for people to shell out $30 for a Hal Herman bobblehead. Anyway, don't distract me. Hal Herman solar eclipse
No bobblehead, no solar eclipse.
viewing safety tips coming up Friday here on the MJ Morning Show.
Got to take a stand.
All right, so Fester,
Yes.
I made a mention that there's a lawsuit involving the solar eclipse, and you're like, who the hell do you sue over a solar eclipse? That's a very reasonable question. It's
You
good.
sue astronomy.
Are they closing streets or something?
Yes,
or
You sue Albert Einstein.
Yeah, it's Fester versus astronomy. Yes. Well, no, there's a specific story, and it is eclipse related. There is a lawsuit. Prisoners in New York are suing the state because they want to be able to go outside and look at the eclipse.
Really?
Inmates in New York are suing the New York State Corrections Department because they've decided to lock down all prisons during Monday's total solar eclipse. And, of course, it's going to vary on what part of the country you're in. Here in the Tampa Bay area, our eclipse will only be about 58%.
Boo.
I don't think that gives us any kind of a dimming.
It's a non-event.
Yeah, for us, it's, if you have the glasses, you can look up, and see the shadow and the eclipse. So we're going to have just over half of the sun eclipsed. But other parts of the country get 100%. Like Julian's up in Manhattan. Julian, while further south in the path, which takes it over western New York, with 100% near Niagara Falls and Buffalo, Julian, I think, gets like close to 90% in Manhattan, like 80,
Wow.
89.8%. And they're saying that New York is going to be like a pretty good viewing area for the eclipse. But the prisoners, there's some group that's suing New York State because they want to be able to see the eclipse and not be under lockdown.
I got bad news for those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to work out.
Yeah, I don't know if you're incarcerated, if you're guaranteed to be able to go outside and view the eclipse. So the suit was filed late last week in federal court in upstate New York, and the inmates, whatever group it is, are arguing that the April 8th, Monday, lockdown violates inmates' constitutional rights to practice their faith by preventing them from taking part in a religiously significant event. So that's the angle.
Oh.
That's the angle they're taking. Oh, that you're impinging upon our religious rights, and it's a constitutional violation because I want to pray to the eclipse god, or whatever the heck it is.
Oh, my God. It makes perfect sense. They're all a bunch of Eclipse-picalians.
Oh, that's a bit of a stretch. I'm an
Jesus
Episcopalian. and
Christmas
that's-
Christ on a cracker.
Episcopalians? Episcopalians? Eclipsopalians?
Yeah, I got you.
Eclipsopalians?
It's a good effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So the best bet for these guys, good behavior for the next 20 years. They can see the eclipse in 2044. Get some early parole. Control your own destiny. Shoot for 2044. You can see that eclipse.
Is it 2044 or 2045? Do you remember? Because Fester pointed this out either earlier this week or late last week, that here in Tampa Bay, that in about 20 years, we're going to have a total eclipse here.
Well,
it's August of 45. Andrew just said it. So it's August of 2045, not 44.
But yes, I'm correct. We're both correct.
No,
there's two.
No, there are two eclipses,
but
twin eclipses.
No, but the total eclipse is 2045 here.
Here?
Yeah. So
but in other places.
No, we're talking right here. So it's 2045. Tampa Bay will have our shot at a 100% solar eclipse.
But these prisoners don't live in Tampa Bay.
Well, no, we're talking about here, and I would presume their sentence will be over. They can move to Tampa Bay,
or they'll be dead,
or take a Greyhound bus here.
Yeah.
And because Professor, didn't you pose this in a very morbid fashion? Didn't you say, "Hey, MJ, do you plan to be alive in 20 years?
I asked
21 years."
This is how I said.
Yeah,
I said, "Do you have 21 years left?"
That's right. That's what you said.
And you're like. And it really stops you. You're like, oh, gosh, well, let me do the math. I'll be 70, whatever it is. And you figured it out, and you're like, yeah, I think I will.
So, all kidding aside, the religious grounds as follows. You got 6 men in New York State with varying religious backgrounds who are incarcerated at the Woodburn Correctional Facility in upstate New York, and they include a Baptist, a Muslim, a Seventh-day Adventist, and 2 practitioners of Santeria.
But they've all converted to Eclipsopelian in prison.
Yeah. And an atheist. So they're suing, claiming that a solar eclipse is a rare natural phenomenon with great religious significance to many, according to the complaint, noting that Bible passages describe an eclipse-like phenomenon during Jesus' crucifixion, while sacred Islamic works describe a similar event when the Prophet Muhammad's son died. So they say this is unfair. We want to be able to see the eclipse. We don't want to be on lockdown. Hey, listen, there are schools that are canceling school on Monday.
Yeah, they aren't prisoners.
Exactly. I don't think you have a right as a prisoner to be afforded a demand to see the eclipse. All right, so that's what the lawsuit's about.
The 2044 eclipse will pass over Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota.
Right. So it doesn't affect us here.
No. But it could affect these prisoners if they're out on good behavior.
It's not an eclipse whizzing contest, Roxanne. It's okay.
I had to put the
good job, Rox.
correct information out there.
Roxanne's playing game. Who's got the bigger eclipse? That's the game Roxanne's playing right now. All right. So
take your word for it.
Other things up in the air. Warning, ladies and gentlemen. Warning, 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 warning. Will your house be hit next? And this is not far from us. Did you see that a piece suspected to be from the International Space Station fell from the sky and smashed through the roof of a house down in Naples? Yeah.
It's awesome.
Trash from the International Space Station may have hit a house right here in Florida. A few weeks ago, the heavens came crashing down through Alejandro Otero's house down in Naples, a couple hours south of us. NASA is looking into this, and what they're saying that in all likelihood, the nearly 2-pound object came from the International Space Station. It ripped through Alejandro's house down in Naples. He's got a 2-story house. It ripped through the roof and both floors of the house. So through the roof, through the second floor, and then crashed through to the bottom floor of the house down in Naples. A 2-pound chunk, which they believe is from the ISS, the International Space Station. Now, listen to this. Mr. Otero wasn't home, but his son was there. And it almost hit his son. Can you imagine the odds of a chunk of space crap from the International Space Station falls out of orbit, comes crashing through your house, almost hits you? That's like Powerball. Yeah, Fester's looking at the images right now, and the whole wooden floor is splintered, then through the ceiling, down to the first floor, damaged the floor below.
It's a weird-looking piece of metal.
Yeah, just a weird chunk. So Otero wasn't home. A Nest security camera captured the sound of the crash. It happened at 2:34 p.m. back on March 8th. So, 3 weeks ago or so. And the information is important as far as the timestamp because U.S. Space Command recorded the re-entry of a piece of space debris from the space station at that time. And guess what? The object was on a path over the Gulf of Mexico heading towards Southwest Florida. This dude's house was hit with a chunk of the International Space Station.
So he posted to X the photos.
Oh, yeah.
And then he says, can anyone assist me in getting in touch with NASA? I've left messages and emails without a response.
Yes. Hello, NASA. What's the number for NASA?
Hi, you've reached the NASA customer service line. Please leave a message at the beep.
If space junk has crashed through your house, push 2. So I think NASA is now alerted. But who's responsible for this?
It's all,
you know, the International Space Station is a consortium among multiple countries. So who ultimately, I mean, do they have an insurance company? Does the International Space Station, do they have an insurance company by any chance?
At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, send that guy out. What if NASA gave him a brand new roof all made of like heat tiles?
Oh, man.
That'd be awesome.
Otero's encounter with the space debris was first reported by Wink, you know, the CBS station down in Fort Myers, Naples. NASA has recovered the debris. Man, I wouldn't give it to... That's got to be valuable. Anyway, it destroyed part of the house, right through the roof, right through the floor, right through the ceiling. And his son, Alejandro Otero's son, was almost hit by this crap. That is unbelievable. Oh, man. So I think it's probably pretty likely that was the case. All right, so what is this deal about citrus? Did you happen to see my pose? Did you see me strike?
No.
You didn't see me strike a pose with a bag of Halos at Walmart yesterday? All right, it's on my Instagram right now. Go to Certified MJ Radio, and, you know, this is like a consumer tip here on the MJ Morning Show, and I don't think it's a secret. I love little clementines. Oh, my darling.
Oh, my
darling. Oh, my darling Clementine.
You were gone and lost forever, right?
Oh, my darling Clementine. That's also Ada Peanut. Ada Peanut. That, you know what? That thing scared the crap out of me. When I was a kid, I can't remember which relative, whether it was mom, dad, or whether I saw it on, I don't know, Sesame Street or the Electric Company or something. But that whole little Ada Peanut thing, that scared the living schnit out of me.
Don't they eventually...
The kid dies. Yeah. That was the deal. The whole Ada Peanut. You know, the peanut was rotten. The kid gets sick. And then the kid, like, died from eating the peanut. And I'm like 5, 6 years old. That scared the bejesus out of me. You know, the kid ate a peanut and died. That traumatized me. Anyway, so back to the Halos. And on my Instagram yesterday, I posted an image of me in the Walmart produce department with a bag of Halos, 3 pounds for $3.98. Whereas I've seen those same Halos for $5.99 if they're on sale at some major local supermarkets. But a lot of times, $6.99. I've even seen them as much as $7.99. And I just thought it was a nice consumer tip from me, MJ. And if you want to see me holding up a bag of Halos, and I took the price tag off the rack. So I took the paper price tag out for a second, and I held it up on the bag, and I'm striking a pose. I think it's a nice, delightful photo of me. I'll hold this up to MJ TV right now so you can see me.
I've never described a photo of myself as delightful.
Yeah, so you know what? I look delightful in this photo.
Odd, man.
It looks like a combination of your mugshot and a bag of oranges.
But the reason why I'm bringing this up is not only do you not have to pay $2, $3, $4 more for a bag of the same Halos, I'm also bringing this up because the comments, 52 comments.
Over a bag of fruit?
Over a bag of fruit. And some people are like, I'll gladly pay $2 or $3 more for a bag of Halos rather than shopping at Walmart. You know, listen, I've got no problem with Walmart in general. Now, the Walmart at I-275 and Dale Mabry, that's a whole different story because that's a war zone. That's a third world Walmart. All right, but that one I tried not to go into that Walmart, but the Walmart in South Tampa, I mean, only a couple of miles south on Gandy. That's a delightful store.
Everybody has their favorite Walmart.
Yeah, so and I have no issue. But seriously, if I look at some of the comments here, so here's what I posted. And you know, you never know what people are gonna key in on. I wrote with my picture with the halos. I wrote halos, £3 for $3.98 at Walmart. Why pay $5.99 to $7.99 elsewhere? And just a picture of me and the bag of fruit. And the comments, let me just read some of these things. From Sky Dash, I'll pay extra not to have to go to Walmart.
Okay, and you will. Okay, good.
Here's the next one. Those halos are a Chinese spy operation. That's why they're on sale.
Right.
Well, because I always say that TikTok is a Chinese spy operation.
I get it.
And I responded, now that's funny. Good price. Got some yesterday at Walmart. And then someone's like, whenever I get them at Walmart, they're rotten. Well, then feel your fruit. Come on, fondle your
MJ for feeling up fruit on every aisle. Don't let a little blueberry hold you back from feeling it up.
I just purchased blueberries as well. I bought at Walmart in the produce section. I bought a bunch of blueberries yesterday. I bought 3 containers, and I touched them. I fondled them.
Did you see my comment?
Did you leave a comment?
Yeah.
What does yours say?
How much is the fruit on the left?
Oh, me. Oh, I get it.
Pretty good, huh?
That is so funny.
But someone said that
really funny.
Somebody said that when I get them at Walmart, they're always squishy and rotten.
Whatever.
Well, you feel the fruit. I bought 3 bags because I'll eat 4, 5, 6 at a time. You know, the little halos. I love these little. What's the other brand? You have halos, and then what's the other one?
Cuties.
Yeah, Cuties is the other brand, or you have
Cuties are asking to be filled up. They're just like
exactly. All right. So the deal is, I love these things. I bought 3 bags, and I touch my fruit.
You pinch a blueberry, right?
Right, exactly. The halos at Walmart yesterday were phenomenal. They were firm. I grabbed the globe, and they were nice and firm. They were still cool, so they must have just come out of the cooler. So, listen, that's your fault. If you're buying a squished bag that has, some smashed rotten ones, look at the bag of fruit. Just don't pick it up sight unseen and just throw it in your cart. But whenever I go to Walmart and I, buy the cheaper halos, I get a great price and I find a great bag or multiple bags that they're in great shape. Anyway, I just thought it was great. 55 comments on my Instagram at Certified MJ Radio. So if you want to see me and fruit, the picture's on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. And hey, give me a follow if you want. I have something else I would like to discuss, which just really cracked me up yesterday. And I don't know if you guys are going to have the same reaction, meaning Roxanne, Fester, Froggy, and our listening audience. It is not often that I talk about vaccinations for cats.
No, that's not a hot topic.
I'm watching TV yesterday, and a commercial comes on for this cat vaccine called Silencia. And I guess it's for your cat if your cat has arthritis.
Isn't that a Spanish word?
What?
Silencia.
No,
Silencia, por favor.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yes, silence.
Silencio, silence.
Silencia, por favor, please.
Or in Italian as well.
Oh, sure.
Silencio! All right. So I'm watching TV yesterday, and this commercial comes on. I'll play a little bit of the spot for you here. Listen.
What's considered normal for your cat is interesting. It's curious.
All right. But then
and it's sweet.
It goes into, but if your cat is like not itself.
If your cat isn't their quirky self lately,
listen.
They may have pain from a common condition called osteoarthritis. Now there's Silencia.
All right, so it's a shot. It is an injection called Silencia, and if your cat has osteoarthritis, then you give the cat the shot. So why the hell am I talking about this?
Because you want the shot for yourself?
No. There is a disclaimer in the middle of it's only a 60-second commercial. There's a disclaimer that comes up shortly in the commercial, and let me play it. I isolated it. Listen to this.
Veterinary professionals administering Silencia who are pregnant, trying to conceive, or breastfeeding should take extreme care to avoid self-injection. Self-injection could cause allergic reactions like...
What?
What the hell?
That's why I'm playing it. So in the commercial, they're talking about that if you're the vet or the vet tech and you're delivering the shot to a cat, you have to be careful not to accidentally inject yourself with the cat drug.
Is that a real thing in the veterinary world?
Self-inject. Caution. Be careful that you don't self-inject the cat drug.
Okay, I have to listen to that again.
Oops, I slipped. Oops.
Hey, Doc, Get in here.
Drop on your foot.
Oops.
I injected myself again.
I have to hear that again.
Right, listen, here it is.
Okay.
Right here.
Veterinary professionals administering Silencia who are pregnant, trying to conceive, or breastfeeding should take extreme care to avoid self-injection. Self-injection could cause allergic reactions like anaphylaxis.
Anaphylaxis.
Look, guys. Look, I have a needle. Okay. Wow!
Listen,
Got myself.
I'm trying to. I've got Mr. Jingles over here.
I got the yips.
Mr. Jingles the cat has osteoarthritis. I'm giving him a shot of Silencia, and okay, hold still, Mr. Jingles. Mr.
Do we have any
Jingles.
cat sound effects?
Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, Mr. Jingles.
Do we have cats?
Yeah, we do.
Of course we have cat. Mr. Jingles. Mr. Jingles. Mr. Jingles. Hold still, Mr. Jingles. All right, here we go. I'm giving you the shot, Mr. Jingles. In 3, 2, and... Oh, son of a bitch! I just injected myself! Oh, my Mr. Jingles! What?
So it sounds like this is kind of only for female veterinary professionals? Because, I was talking about...
No, it's...
Yeah, because in breastfeeding, pregnant,
But if you have a reaction, you could be a male... as well. Listen,
anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not just obviously there's concern for pregnant female vets or vet techs, so they don't self-inject.
Veterinary professionals administering Silencia who are pregnant, trying to conceive, or breastfeeding should take extreme care to avoid self-injection.
And
self-injection could cause allergic reactions like anaphylaxis.
So that would be, I guess, both genders.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thunk?
I'm at the vet with Mr. Jingles and Rebecca. She's getting induced next Wednesday. She was so sweet to give us the shot of Silencia.
Man,
it was just awful.
You had no idea where this was going, but that's why I'm like, really? The commercials warning vets about accidentally sticking themselves with the needle with the cat drug? I've never heard that before in any. And folks, the number of pharmaceutical spots. Remember we were making a joke out of it over the years about every day it seems there's a new commercial with some made-up drug name?
Yeah. I mean, the absurdities of the disclaimers that they have in all pharmaceutical commercials, but this is the best.
Hey, we got a lawsuit against Disney we got to talk about. Hey, Andrew, I know that you usually follow the latest Disney news. Andrew, our producer here on the MJ Morning Show, Andrew is a Disney super fan. In fact, he vacations nowhere else but Disney. That's it. Whenever he has time off, whenever he goes on vacation, it's Disney. A super adult Disney fan. I mean, the suspenders with the flare and the pins and the whole shebang, everything.
Really and then you still contact me and make me work while I'm out there.
That's right. We still need you. Yes.
Right,
yes,
so,
thank you. Yes.
Andrew, you've already informed me you're taking time off in what, late June?
Yes.
And where are you going?
I may go to Disney.
There you look at that.
Good
there
for
we
you.
go. All right.
Good for you.
So are you aware of the latest Disney lawsuit?
Which one are you talking about?
Man sues Disney after Magic Kingdom ferry crashes and throws him into a trash can?
Yes, I am.
Hold on. The ferry?
You know the ferry that takes you from the parking lot to the front gates?
Yeah.
That's not a ferry. That's like a bus, right?
No,
Like
no.
They have
The
several,
tram.
several ways of moving.
There are
it.
multiple ways you can get on the monorail, right?
Right.
You can get on the monorail from the parking lot to the Disney front gates, the ticket office and the front gates.
TTC to
Main
park.
Street. So, or you can get on that old steam ferry, the with the wheel in the back, whatever you call that thing, right? So, a ferry that a guy was riding on apparently crashed and flung him into a trash can. A guy is suing Walt Disney Parks after the ferry crash tossed him. This is according to a lawsuit filed earlier this week. The lawsuit shows that in April of 2023, so a year ago exactly, the man, Justin Tripp, went on
His name is Tripp?
Yeah, went on a trip that he didn't want.
And he fell just in the garbage
Yeah,
can?
just in time, he tripped. All right, so he was planning to spend the day at the Magic Kingdom. He decided to take the Richard F. Irvine ferry from the parking lot to the park, but the ferry was overcrowding, and it forced Tripp to stand near the stern, according to the lawsuit. As the ferry approached the dock of the Magic Kingdom, the ferry did not slow down. By any chance, was this ferry operator also up in Baltimore a couple of weeks ago? Just asking. No. Yeah. So this is from the lawsuit. I'm reading the actual verbiage from the lawsuit. As the ferry approached the docking area of the Magic Kingdom, the ferry did not slow down. The ferry struck the boat dock at an unsafe and high rate of speed, causing passengers to be thrown about, including Tripp. No warning given to the passengers prior to the collision. One passenger was even knocked unconscious. Hey, are you okay?
It looks okay to me.
Here comes Goofy, the EMT.
Let's get him out of here.
So the ferry and dock sustained visible damage during the collision. In addition, Tripp's head, Mr. Justin Tripp. That's terrible.
What is that? A monster?
I can't do a Donald Duck.
He's trying to do Donald Duck.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm clearing my throat
Dude,
wonderfully.
you sound demonic.
I can't. Some guys can do Donald Duck.
Oh, my God. Hey, that is Donald's here.
Yeah, you got a trio.
That is so good. Hey, Donald.
Sounds like you're choking.
Somebody give Donald CPR. He doesn't sound that good.
All right. So, in addition, Tripp's head and neck struck a steel pillar on the ferry, and eventually he got thrown into a trash can. And apparently that kept him from being flung overboard. So he was thrown into a trash can, I guess, at the front of the ferry. As a result of the incident, Tripp is accusing Disney of negligence. He is seeking in excess of $50,000 in damages due to the injuries that he suffered.
Sound like a real duck.
You know, it sounds like a good thing we had that garbage can there. Otherwise, you would have been in the water.
Could have drowned.
Justin Tripp.
The happiest place on earth. For him, it could have been the deadliest place on earth.
Justin was taking his girlfriend, Linda, out for a lovely day at the park.
All right, 8 o'clock at the MJ Morning Show. We're in the middle of an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. I have a celebrity pile that we've got to get to.
Did nobody get my Linda Tripp joke?
What was it?
I took his girlfriend, Linda.
Linda
Tripp.
Oh, God. All right.
Funny, Mickey.
So,
Yeah, thank you.
do you remember? Hey, Mickey.
Yes.
Shh, stop it.
All right.
So I teased the Giselle Bundchen story yesterday.
Yeah, and we kind of just skimmed the surface.
Well, here's what happened. What happened was I got a little distracted, and before I got to the actual Giselle Bundchen story that I wanted to talk about, I mentioned that Giselle also did this photo shoot and posed for some magazine cover in this skin-tight leopard print outfit, like a like a one-piece bathing suit, and she's all sexy and bending over and all kinds of different poses. And this was right toward the end of the show yesterday, and then I forgot to go back to the reason why I was bringing up Gisele Bündchen in the first place, and that is kind of this cryptic message that she gave to followers on her social media. What does this mean?
Ooh, what is it?
Gisele Bündchen shared what is being described as a very cryptic quote, urging her followers on social media to, quote, these are her words, be kind because you'll never know, this is a quote, the pains and traumas others have endured. What does that mean? Is she implying that the relationship with Tom Brady was painful, was traumatic?
I mean, if you read between the lines, a lot of her interviews while they were married, there were a lot of struggles about him being selfish, and it was all about his career.
Or is it the aftermath of their breakup and divorce?
Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah, she's 43. She split from Tom Brady back in October of 2022. It's been that long? Wow.
Yeah, it was during his last playing year. Yeah, he didn't play last year.
Man, it seems like just last week that they were both living happily on Bahama Circle on Davis Islands, the old Derek Jeter house.
The house that broke him up.
So she posted this on her Instagram story on Monday, and she says, you look at a person and can't imagine the story they carry, the pains, traumas, and fears. So clearly, she sounds tormented.
I think that's just I think she's a celebrity who's like, everyone's looking at me, talking about me, and let me just tell them, I'm like everybody else. I have things that I've been through that nobody would ever know.
She sounds haunted, doesn't she? She sounds like she's traumatized. Yeah, Frog?
I'm worried about Giz.
What?
Giselle.
That's what all our friends call her.
I'm worried about her. I mean, I hope that Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy can help her out. If you know what I mean.
Really. So she continues, just as we can't imagine how strong, capable, and resilient someone is, behind smiles and glances or achievements and victories, there are people and moments they overcome and dreams and desires to be achieved. Okay. There's so much you'll never know. Ugh. So be kind whenever you can.
I hate dramatic posters.
Yeah, I don't like the dramatic / the code. Like, because you ever have someone post something and you're like, okay, who is this message for?
But also, But also keep in mind that recently, and even going back to like the time of the split, remember there were accusations or finger pointing, and some people were supposing that Gisele had cheated on Tom with that jiu-jitsu instructor.
You'll never know.
Yeah, what's it? Joaquim Valente is his name.
Always be kind. You'll never know.
And of course, she denied cheating on Tom. But man, this is somewhat cryptic, man.
Does Tom have a girlfriend yet?
It's a good question. I would imagine he's fairly eligible.
I believe he's out sowing his oats.
I believe he's committed a vow of celibacy.
So I hope that Gisele is not tormented. I hope she's not a tortured soul. But I just thought that the language there was very, very interesting. Flight attendant revealing why the 13th row is missing on airplanes.
I've never noticed that.
I'm going to call total BS on this. Is
that a real thing?
Because Michelle and I flew to New York on a Delta Boeing 737-900ER from Tampa to LaGuardia, and on one of the legs we sat in row 13. So I'm calling total BS on this. And I even said to Michelle, she's like, what seat are we in? We were in Delta Comfort Plus. And of course, luckily I've got some decent Delta status. I buy the cheap ticket. I can't buy the basic. I can't buy the cheapest one, but I can buy main cabin, which is the second cheapest ticket, and then I always get upgraded to Comfort Plus. So I buy the cheap ticket, and we always get upgraded to Comfort Plus, and sometimes we get upgraded to first class, depending on the load factor and what's going on. And then my hierarchy in the Delta frequent traveler program.
Hierarchy.
But the point is that we just flew in row 13 on a Delta flight. I've been on plenty of airplanes. What is this person talking about? Have you ever boarded a plane and noticed the 13th row is missing?
Pick a plane model, MJ.
What do you have?
I have a
over here?
717, which is a smaller plane, right?
Well, it's the McDonnell Douglas. It was the MD-90, if I'm not mistaken. Then,
I'm looking at the seating chart.
Then when Boeing bought McDonnell Douglas, then it became the 717. And look, you're looking at a seating chart for a Delta 717 and row 13.
Right there.
Look, I'm telling you, what is this flight attendant on drugs? What's going on here?
All right, what does she say?
I don't know, maybe it's foreign airliners, but I see row 13 on airliners all the time. A flight attendant has spilled industry secrets and revealed how row 13 is often missing because of bad luck. Anyway, I was just in row 13, and Michelle even joked about it. We were getting ready to get on the flight. I think it might have been, It was LaGuardia back to Tampa, back when we visited Julian back in March during spring break. And flying back on Delta, Michelle's like, yeah, what row are we? What seat? And I'm like, we are 13 Charlie and Bravo, 13C and 13B. And then Michelle even joked, 13, I'm not sitting there. That's bad luck. And, of course, she was kidding. But, yes, there are row 13s on at least most of the American airplanes.
I have been to numerous hotels that don't have floor 13.
Yeah. Is that an increasing trend, or do you think it's flat?
That's
decreasing. That's
you
old.
think so?
Yeah, like in New York City, a lot of buildings don't have a 13th floor. It goes from 12
That's old school
to 14. It is. That's old school. Like these days, I think most buildings that are being built, like, Midtown, they're building that new, if you're on 275 right now and you're at Dale Mabry, look at the giant building that they're building right at Midtown. That's going to be the Tico Tower. That's going to be Tico's moving all their headquarters down there. And just out of curiosity, I'm guessing that building's going to have a 13th floor.
Probably a backup generator.
In case the power goes out.
Guys, this is our new headquarters. Can't be too safe.
Fester.
Yes.
Are you ready for some Costco tips? Now, I know you're a Sam's guy, but I'm guessing that a lot of these will apply to Sam's Club as well.
Maybe.
And I'm really kind of honing in on the free samples.
Dude, I got my free sample racket down.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you
don't go on a Saturday.
Well, what day do you go on?
Saturday's like going out on New Year's Eve, right?
But that's when the free samples are out.
That's when they have the greatest density of free samples.
No,
that's what I thought too.
That's also when there's the most amount of people there and all these grubby hands are touching.
They're not doing free samples on Tuesday at 11 a.m.
Right, but they are on Thursday, Friday.
What?
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I was a bag boy. It's not
You were a bag boy at Publix in 1995.
6.
You have no authority in this area.
Anyway, listen.
You hear me talking about shelves? No.
All right, so Fester.
Yes.
I have specific questions. Now,
are you trying to piss me off, Froggy? You don't know anything about samples at these clubs.
These are Costco specific, but I'm sure a lot of these carry over to Sam's Club and BJ's. First of all, and there's one that really caught my attention, the sweet spot. What is the sweet spot if you want to graze on free samples at Costco? And can they limit you? There's some really cool things here. So if you're a Costco member, and again, I'm sure this applies. I'm sure there's a lot of overlap with Sam's and BJ's as well. But I've got 5 things regarding the free samples that you might not know about.
All right, let me get a pen. I'm taking notes.
Now, number one, do you know that the people that give you the samples, they don't work for the...
They are contractors.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
They're independent contractors.
I knew that.
They don't work for Costco or for Sam's or BJ's.
And
They work for a company that gives out the free samples, so they're independent contractors. They don't work for them.
And don't they get incentivized or make their money by you grabbing one of their packages? right where they're like, don't you have to help them by taking one of their packages?
Well, that's another whole thing. Do you feel, if you take a free sample, do you feel guilted into having to buy the product? Because what they'll say is, oh, and it's right over here, and if you like it, and they try to, upsell you take the free sample and then they want you to buy the product. How many people are guilt driven to have to buy that product because you think that someone gave you a little pill cup with 2 pieces of granola, and then are you going to be guilted into buying that bag for $11.98?
So I will take several samples. I'll feed the kids.
Yep.
And then I will say how fantastic it is if it's truly good. And then I'll pick up the product. But then I'll drop it off one row over.
Let me go to the.
Yeah. I make it
that's hysterical.
So it's a free sample fake out.
Yeah, it's like let's say they're giving out like a potato chip or something. I'll take 3 for me.
Those are delicious. Oh, and
these are great chips. Wow.
Then you take the bag, you put it in the cart,
and they're over here,
and then you dump it off.
Next row over, 2 rows over.
You product dump,
or I go in the back where the water is.
You know what's the worst thing in the world? I hate this when people will product dump. Like they'll take ice cream out of the freezer and then they decide I don't want it and then they leave it on the pasta shelf.
Oh, that's terrible. That's wrong.
But you see that all the time. I've seen putting hamburger meat like next to the Keebler cookies or something.
Ew.
I can't say I've never done that, but
I mean that's rude. If you're going to product dump, if you're going to take the product, put it in the cart, and then decide you don't want it, don't product dump a perishable item in the dry goods section. I mean, that's awful.
So
that ought to be a jail term.
I will tell you, I make an effort to product dump back in the same temperature zone
that
I picked it up in.
Well, now I'm going to start getting Fester's attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you limited to the number of samples of a particular item? Let's say it's a little hot dog, a little cocktail Frank or something.
Oh, man. Oh, they had Little Smokies a couple of weeks ago.
There you
it was
go.
Super Bowl week. They had Little Smokies.
So they've got them. What they use the little paper cups, right, or plastic little cups, right?
Paper cups, plastic cups. Sometimes they use toothpicks on napkins.
You grab a little Smoky from the Costco or Sam's Club or BJ's sample person, and you think, oh boy, that's tasty. Are you limited to just that one or maybe 2? Yes or no?
No.
That is the correct answer. There is no limit to the free samples. If you want, you can find a lawn chair over in the middle of the store. They sometimes have furniture. Go grab a chair, and if you want, you could sit right in front of that and just graze for an hour and just sample me. Sample me. More. Sample me. Sample me. Sample me. You could eat. There is no limit. You can eat as much as you want. The demonstrators don't mind if you come back over and over and over again. If you're polite, you don't just snatch the samples up, just grab like a bunch of them. But in fact, you can keep going back and back. They will give you as much as you want. Apparently, they're told don't cut a customer off. You can't say, okay, you little piggy, you've had enough. You've had 17 cups of Little Smokies. No, they don't cut you off.
Actually, Doug does our Costco shopping with the girls, and I do our Sprouts shopping or Publix shopping with the girls. So they'll come back and they'll be like, hey, do you guys want lunch? No, we ate at Costco. Well, what'd you eat?
Yep.
Just samples.
Exactly.
And you eat as many as you want.
When it comes to Costco, and I'm sure it's the same with Sam's and BJ's, free samples make Costco a whole lot of money. And again, it's the sampling that then guilts people into buying the product that they're free sampling is what it comes down to. So there's a lot of money. Now, this I thought was the coolest thing, the best thing. And let's see if Fester knows. Time your visit to Costco and the others to maximize your samples.
Okay, what's your strategy?
How do you get maximum sample density of free food at these warehouse clubs? Fester, let's see if you know. For instance, there's a time frame.
All right, so the time frame is going to be weekend or later part of the week, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually Monday.
I usually go to Costco on Saturday, Sunday because I don't generally have a lot of time during the week. So are you sure they're doing samples on Thursdays and Fridays?
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought it was just a Saturday, Sunday thing.
And the sweet spot time.
That's what I'm looking for. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
All right.
Let's see if Fester knows the sweet spot where the most samples are on the floor on a weekend day at Costco.
Noon to 2.
What?
Whoa.
Noon to 2.
Actually, I'm going to narrow it down even more. The sweetest of sweet spots, you did encompass it. But the sweetest spot for the most samples
126
is 1 to 2. It's 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Yeah. That is the sweet spot where they call it the sweet sample spot.
Because they are independent contractors,
Yep.
they do not work till close, that's for sure. And they aren't the first people in there in the morning. So they only work midday. And then you have to incorporate their break schedule. So,
There you have it. Hey, we have an update. We've got a breaking news update here on the MJ Morning Show. Did you see the jail sentence? Or actually, technically, it's a prison sentence. Jail is typically under 365 days or a year, and then prison is a year or greater. Did you see the prison sentence that the wrong way, or actually, it wasn't wrong way, it was right way, but road closed Skyway marathon driver? Did you see the prison sentence that she got yesterday?
has that been 2 years already?
It's been 2 freaking years. Why did it take so long?
I mean, that 2 years is actually a reasonable amount of time for a trial and conviction. And
That's
sentencing.
incredible. So the woman who drove on the Skyway, and I'm trying to think, I don't think she drove the wrong way. She drove, I think she was going northbound, right? It was northbound from the Bradenton side, from the Manatee side. She, instead of, weren't they exiting all cars on like 301? And this was for the big Skyway 10K. And this was back in, I think it was what? It was the Skyway 10K run, and it was what? It was 2022. So this is 2 years ago, and this is the woman that ignored the police roadblocks and all the barricades, drove through, was headed over the Skyway where you had thousands of runners. I mean, this woman could have mowed down runners. And remember the story, didn't her blood alcohol reach nearly 3 times the legal limit?
She was insanely drunk, yes.
Yeah, Kristen K. Watts. She pleaded guilty. I'll tell you, I'll give her credit for owning up to what she did. So Kristen K. Watts pleaded guilty to fleeing to elude law enforcement, DUI, property damage, and remember what happened. We had that heroic Florida Highway Patrol trooper, Tony Shuck, female Tony, Toni. Tony Shuck took her tan and black, what was that? It was like a big Chevy Suburban. And remember, stopped this woman. She was in a BMW 3 Series. Trooper Shuck took her Suburban and drove right into the front of this fleeing vehicle that was headed to potentially mow over marathon runners. And she clearly, heroically saved people from serious bodily injury or death. And she put herself at risk. She put herself in harm's way by using her Chevy Suburban to stop this vehicle from mowing over runners. So Kristen K. Watts, who was just blast-ass drunk out of her mind, pleaded guilty. Her lawyers asked for leniency and time served and probation. Judge didn't want any part of that. 10 years in Florida State Prison. Yesterday in a Manatee courtroom.
Have fun with that.
10 years. She does get credit for time served. She'll have to do 4 years of probation after the fact. Now, it does appear that this Kristen K. Watts has cleaned up her act. And she's getting involved in some community programs for people with this type of problem. I saw that her mother took the stand and was trying to, roll out the best possible character witness. But the judge handed her 10 years in prison for smashing into that trooper, busting through the roadblocks, and potentially on her way to mow over marathon runners during that Sunshine Skyway 10K. Yeah, so her blood alcohol was a .271.
Wow. 10 years.
So nearly 3 times the legal limit of a .08. That's, I'm sorry, it's more than 3 times.
How old is she?
She was
50-something, 54.
I can't read.
She's 54.
Did you find her age?
Yeah,
Okay.
Manatee judge sentenced 54-year-old Kristen Watts.
So,
10
yeah,
years.
she's 54 years old. But that's the culmination of that particular story. Yeah, so, I sent a message over to the FHP to see if we could get Trooper Tony Shuck on this morning. And remember, we had her.
Yeah.
Remember, not long after the crash back in 2022, a lot of people were listening to the show that know Trooper Shuck, and they gave, I guess, her the information that we wanted to talk to her. And remember, Trooper Shuck called the MJ Morning Show live on the air, and we spoke to her. We thanked her for her heroism. And I did send a note over to the Highway Patrol yesterday saying, hey, is there any chance that we can get Trooper Shuck on this morning to talk about it and just how she's just kind of a checkup. Hey, how you feeling 2 years later? Have you fully recovered from getting, nailed at high speed by this vehicle that you stopped? And I was told that she's discontinued interviews.
Good for her.
So listen, that's
her right.
That's her right. It's a prerogative. She testified in court. Now listen, Trooper Shuck, if you are listening right now and you want to call, we want to thank you again. If you are listening, feel free to phone in like you did last time. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Love to talk to you right now. But here's audio of Trooper Shuck. This is on the steps outside of the Manatee Courthouse yesterday after the judge handed this woman a 10-year prison sentence.
I received an apology from her, and I hope that she continues on the path of recovery. I hope she realizes that the March 6th, 2022 incident caused trauma to not only myself and injury to myself, but also to a lot of the runners that were out there.
So listen, thanks again. This is the kind of heroism. You have first responders that put their lives in jeopardy on the line to help others every single day. In the Florida Highway Patrol case here, it ranged from wrangling an alligator on the Leroy Selman a couple of days ago to what Trooper Shuck did by stopping this vehicle that would have mowed over runners during the 10K 2 years ago.
You really never know what your day is going to hold when you're in law enforcement. So.
Yep. So if Trooper Shuck wants to call, we'd love to hear from her. But we respect the fact that she's discontinued interviews officially. But hey, if unofficially you want to call the MJ Morning Show, happy to talk to you. 800. What are you trying to?
She'll break her own policy set for you. MJ's like, I know you set this policy for yourself.
Fetcher's like giving me the stop hand.
Right, you gotta. She's sitting here listening. If she's listening, she's like, I'm not calling.
Listen, if you're listening, Trooper Shuck, if you're listening and you don't want to call, that's fine. We respect that. Thank you for your service to the state of Florida. We highly appreciate it as Florida citizens here on the MJ Morning Show.
I concur.
You what?
Concur.
All right. Froggy concurs, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic.
Yay.
All right. Moving along here on the MJ Morning Show. Froggy, this might be disappointing to you.
Oh, no.
Is there a chance that the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight scheduled for July 20th might be canceled?
I'm sure it will be.
Well, listen to this.
Mike Tyson, any comment on this?
It still has to be approved. So I guess it doesn't have approval from like the Nevada Boxing Commission or whatever, right?
Yeah, they're both way different weights and.
Oh, I'm sorry, Texas.
But they're saying it's an exhibition, right?
I'm sorry, the Texas. I guess does every state have like an agency that handles?
Yes.
Oh yeah, every state has its own boxing commission.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. He knows.
Yeah. I'm going to kick you in the nuts.
Yeah, so the fight is scheduled for that AT&T massive Cowboys Stadium in Dallas, but as of now, it has not been approved by state regulators. So, is there a possibility that the fight
It'll happen.
is canceled?
It's on Netflix. It has to happen.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Netflix, they're going to pull all those strings, right?
Right, Mike?
Is that what it is?
Netflix has a lot of power.
Who?
Netflix. What? What's so funny?
Nothing, Mike. I like you.
What's the name of the service you're going to be on?
Netflix.
Netflix? How do you spell that, Mike?
I don't know how to spell. But listen, I'm going to kick his ass.
I think it would be Netfwix. Netfwix, right?
Mike, is it true that you made more money with your weed business than you ever made in boxing?
Oh, it's very true. I said, where do Evander Holyfield is?
What's your favorite candy bar?
That's what I was thinking.
Twix.
Twix. It's Netfwix.
Yeah, Netflix.
What's your favorite cereal?
Twix.
Twix. Silly
rabbit.
rabbit.
What's the crazy?
Twix are for
Yeah,
kids.
Twix are for Mike Tyson.
Your favorite candy is Trix, and your favorite cereal is Twix?
Twix and Twix.
Yeah, Roxanne, what are we going to
What
say?
was your favorite mushroom psychedelic trip that you've ever been on?
Twix. Hey, how you doing?
All right, so we'll see if the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight goes off, but it has not been officially approved yet. Got a couple of wackos in the news. Now, this is really a wackos. I love this. Folks, if you're going to try to rob a lawn care worker, make sure they don't have a weed whacker in their hands. This is out of Texas. A lawn care worker used a weed whacker to fend off an attacker.
Smart.
I'll tell you, a weed whacker is one of the most vicious weapons you can use.
Oh, man, you'll take chunks of face off, won't you?
You sure would.
Yeah, the incident happened last weekend, Saturday. This is on Houston's north side in Texas, and neighbors were surprised at the brazen attack on a lawn care dude. It was all caught on like a neighbor's security camera. The victim walks into the street after spotting suspects at his truck. And, you know, you got to be careful. This has happened in my neighborhood. You know, if you're a contractor, you know, you're working on a home, you're in a neighborhood, if you're a contractor, you got to lock your truck. And there was a rash of these things in my neighborhood in South Tampa where the bad guys, and this is over the last like year or two, the perps driving around looking for work trucks or a trailer that's open with all kinds of expensive tools. And on my street, I know of at least 2 instances where contractors or workers were ripped off by just perps just driving the neighborhoods looking for opportunity. You know, this is what you call a crime of opportunity. And I know that 2 houses down across the street from me, there was a contractor that had like a white trailer being towed by his pickup truck, and the doors were open. He had all kinds of tools in there, and he's in the house, and he's thinking, oh, it's a pretty nice neighborhood. I had nothing to worry about. And the dude was ripped off. Somebody went in and stole thousands of dollars worth of tools brazenly. All right, be careful. Then within the last year, there was a pickup truck, a contractor working, again, right down the street from me, and he had his window open, unlocked, and he had his wallet up on the dashboard, and somebody went in and stole the guy's wallet. Again, crime of opportunity. So this happens. The victim walks into the street after spotting suspects at his truck. One suspect, identified as 23-year-old Gerald Alexander, falls onto the street from an open door. The landscaper whacks Alexander during the standoff while a neighbor calls police, trying to, I guess, rip off the truck. And then it turned into like a standoff. And here you have the lawn care worker who has a weed whacker in his hand that then he starts using as a weapon to defend himself.
Jeez.
Lucky it's in Texas, man, because he'll be okay. You know, if you do this in probably New York or California, they'll probably figure out a way on why the victim is going to be guilty and charged for using a weed whacker on the perp. So I mean, that's how ass backward, some of the some of the states and municipalities are these days. Yeah, he was trying to protect his property, and in the course, his instincts told him use the weed whacker. According to Mark Herman from the Harris County Sheriff's Office, Precinct 4. So this whole thing was caught on video. Yeah, you might not want to get into an altercation or rip somebody off that has a high-powered weed whacker in, with the mob. With the mob, if you're like killed, you get whacked.
Yeah.
In this case, in Texas, if you rip off a lawn guy, you get whacked, but not like you just get a chunk of your cheek taken off by monofilament.
You're gonna rob a lawn man, you get weed whacked.
Yeah. So heads up on that. Yeah, Alexander charged with aggravated robbery. Anyway, so there you have it. Yeah, he had a firearm, I guess. Firearms brandished. And guess what? The lawn guy did not have a gun. He had a Black & Decker.
You know what?
Probably had a Ryobi.
What do you think? What are the big weed whacker brands, Froggy?
I believe the biggest one is Steel. You'll see Steel power tools on all the lawn guys' trucks.
Yeah.
Best stuff.
Yeah, Froggy has a little bit of a vested interest because.
We need to talk about it.
What? The fact that your shelving company, you were very proud of this.
I am very proud of it.
You designed the steel chainsaw and steel power tool racks and displays for, hundreds of hardware stores across the country, right?
We're up to 6,000.
What?
6,000 stores so far.
Wow.
You're supplying shelving and displays for the steel company for 6,000. And are they all the same hardware store or different ones?
All different, baby.
So all just different steel dealers. Steel as in STIHL, which, by the way, headquartered in my hometown of Virginia Beach, Virginia.
A lovely campus.
Yeah, right off Lynn Haven Parkway.
I've been. Beautiful area.
Oh, yeah. So, hey.
Magical almost.
Yeah, and Michelle, just so you know, Michelle grew up in a house about 1 mile from where steel chainsaws are made in Virginia Beach.
It actually is a really nice area. I was surprised.
Yeah. Lynn Haven Mall's right there. I used to go to the Chi-Chi's on Friday nights with my friends, and it was always one of our birthdays.
Always.
I used to love Chi-Chi's.
Every Friday, it was one of our birthdays.
Chi-Chi's?
So we got,
sounds like a strip club.
So we got remember
Chi-Chi Rodriguez, right?
No.
Chi-Chi Rodriguez, the golfer?
No, Chi-Chi's.
I thought that's who it was named after.
No. Chi-Chi's, the old Mexican, restaurant chain.
They had one here. Didn't they have one here, like on Gulf to Bay?
I don't remember.
For US 19? I don't know.
No, I think you're right. I think near, wasn't there one?
That's Cha-Cha Coconut.
No.
Yeah.
Right where I think the Carrabba's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the what was it, Perkins, right in? Wasn't right in there?
I think so.
Yeah. And like the Joe's, isn't there the seafood joint? Is that still there?
I don't know.
Anyway, all right. So moving along here on the MJ Morning Show, let's talk about a total nut job here in Florida. Can you imagine putting your car on cruise control, flying down the road, and then standing up through the sunroof?
Dude.
Is that a new trend?
Oh, my God. Did they do that in the movie Footloose?
Dude, in the movie Teen Wolf, the guy surfed the top of the van.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. This dude was arrested a little east of us out in Claremont. Guy was arrested after he was clocked doing 77 miles an hour in a 45. This is in Lake County. Joseph Ellis, 22, charged with reckless driving, possession of a controlled substance. What a shocker, without a prescription. After the incident that unfolded, this is a little after 9:30 last Sunday night, an officer spotted Ellis in his silver Nissan going nearly 80 miles an hour in a busy area in Claremont. Police said that he was driving recklessly. Noticed the person had about half of his body extended from the car's sunroof.
Oh.
When the officer turned on his headlights, the Nissan continued to drive, approaching the major intersection of US 27 and Hook Street. Officer conducted a traffic stop, realized that Ellis was the only person in the car. According to the affidavit, I asked Ellis if he was the only person inside the vehicle, how a person was on the exterior of the vehicle then. He repeatedly attempted to say that his USB cord got caught.
Yeah.
So what? That caused him to stand up through the sunroof? He's going nearly 80 miles an hour. He put his cruise control on, and he's standing up on the driver's seat out of the sunroof of the vehicle. What was he steering with his knees? What was unbelievable?
Yeah. I think you steer with your foot
or your,
junk.
Yeah, right. You got to be really close to the steering wheel.
Yeah. So he tried to say, "Oh yeah, my USB cord got caught." Made no sense according to the officer because made no sense on how his auxiliary power cord was out of the vehicle. So what was he trying to say? That he was trying to grab his USB cord, and that's why he was standing through the sunroof with his cruise control on?
Whatever, buddy.
Yeah, the officer then noticed a half-full Bud Light can in the center console, plus a container that had an oxycodone pill inside.
What's the matter with this guy? And he's just cruising down the street, hanging out. What a dope.
Yeah.
Bring more attention to yourself when you have drugs on you.
Extending himself out of the car's sunroof while the car was on cruise control.
Didn't that used to be called ghosting? Or is that when they get out and sit on the car?
No, that's when you
or get out of it and run with it?
Yeah, you're at a very low speed, but you get out and walk along or run alongside your car.
That's horrifying.
That's just sheer idiocy. How'd you like to win $1,000 gift card to IDC, International Diamond Center? Folks, this contest that we're doing right now, which ends tomorrow, does not get any easier than this. Madonna comes to Amalie tomorrow. It's the rescheduled concert from the one that was canceled because of her health issues, where Madonna's own words admitted that she almost died. Well, she's alive. She'll be here tomorrow night, but the question is, will she be on time? And this is where you could win the $1,000 gift card. You can do this right now, but this is the last day, so hurry up. You go to mjmorningshow.com. Go to our website, mjmorningshow.com. Look for the Madonna graphic. Look for Madonna Concert Clock Watch. It's right in the middle of our webpage, mjmorningshow.com. Click on it, fill out the form, and guess what time Madonna will take the stage. Why? Because she's been notoriously late. Up in New York, she was like 2.5 hours late starting her show. So we're just trying to keep her on the straight and narrow. What time will Madonna start the concert tomorrow night in downtown Tampa? The person that guesses correctly or the closest will win a $1,000 gift card to International Diamond Center, IDC. What a great prize. And all you have to do is go on our website and guess what time Madonna will take the stage. Concert is set to start at 8:30. There's a quick, what is the guy's name? Like Trans Bob or something?
Bob the trans guy. Something like that.
Yeah, there's some kind of opening act for Madonna. But what time will Madonna actually walk out on stage? That's it. That's the criteria. It's easy as can be. And whoever comes closest wins the $1,000 gift card. Go enter right now, mjmorningshow.com.
Bob the Drag Queen.
I'm sorry, Bob the Drag Queen.
We wanted to get it right. Bob the Drag Queen.
Not Trans Bob.
I'm sure it's a great act.
All right. So Bob the Drag Queen is going to open up. And then what time will Madonna actually hit the stage? Make your guess. It's the Madonna Concert Clock Watch. Go to mjmorningshow.com. You could win the $1,000 gift card from International Diamond Center. Good luck from the MJ Morning Show. Also, I think it's important to talk about cruise etiquette.
Oh, yeah. I might be going on a cruise this year.
You know the story, don't you?
Yes, I think I do.
Okay.
I think I sent this to you a couple days ago.
Wait a sec. So why were you, Fess, are you okay with that?
No, it was the right. Oh, yes, I do. Wait, no.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well,
Maybe yes.
I mean, there are always cruise stories floating around.
Well,
if this is the one that I sent you, then yes.
Well, it's all over the news. It has been for a couple of days. What story did you send me?
I'm talking about the cruise etiquette, about whose responsibility is it to be back on time to the ship.
Yeah, so, I mean, this story's all over the place.
Yes.
So it's not like it's an exclusive Roxanne story. But
I didn't say it was.
From the RNC, the Roxanne News Center.
But here's the deal. When the cruise tells you what time to be back on the ship, if you're doing an onshore excursion, make sure you're back on the ship.
Okay. However, was this a cruise sanctioned excursion? In other words, did that excursion leader have something to do with the cruise? If you booked it through the cruise, you should be good. But I haven't gotten to the bottom of that.
So a lot of cruise ships will offer the excursions, of which obviously they have their hand in the till and they're getting a percentage of the excursion, on shore or wherever. In this particular case, Andrew, these are passengers that left the ship and did their own thing and then didn't get back to the ship on time. Is that your understanding?
Yes, it was booked through a third-party company.
Right. So it was
Viator or something like that.
Right. So I would imagine if it was booked through the cruise that they would have waited. So were they punishing these passengers because they didn't book through the excursion desk on the cruise ship? Here's what happened. But the bottom line is, when they tell you to be on board the ship at a certain time, that the ship is going to set sail from that current port, you better be there. So it turns out you had a whole handful of passengers that were left stranded in Africa because the cruise ship left the port without them.
Yikes.
You had a number of Americans. This was on a 20-day Norwegian Cruise Lines voyage around Africa.
This is a nightmare because at the age of one of the people who was stranded,
Yeah.
I mean, it just sounds scary.
What are they, 100 years old?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So this was an African cruise. This is Norwegian Cruise Line, which is a very big, well-respected, cruise line. Tourists, 6 from the United States. So there were 6 Americans on this, and the other 2, it's a total of 8. The other 2 are from Australia. And they were aboard the Norwegian Dawn, this Norwegian Lines cruise ship, and it left Cape Town, South Africa back on March 20th for a 21-day tour,
Sounds like an amazing cruise.
And the weather was very nice, but they didn't get back to the ship on time, and the ship left without them.
Okay,
It's a long-ass cruise.
Oh, yeah, it really is. But the excursion leader, I keep calling him that. I don't know what the official title is. The excursion leader called ahead to the captain and said, "We've been delayed." And the captain was like,
"Nope, sorry.
We're
leaving. Pull it up anchor. Pull it out." So the ship left Cape Town, South Africa on March 20th, and then it ends in Barcelona, Spain, coming up on April 10th. So a week from today, 21-day cruise.
That sounds like an expensive one.
But back on March 27th, the group of 8 tourists were late to return to the ship. There was an all-aboard time of 3 p.m., and they were on a private excursion, which was not organized by the cruise ship.
"Oh, so it was not." Okay,
Yep.
You gave me clarification.
No, we already did 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know. I just
So Jay and Jill Campbell. Oh, Jay Campbell. Remember him?
I do.
Yeah, Jay Campbell is a great sales guy. Yeah, really enjoyed working with Jay.
Not that Jay Campbell.
What?
He's not on the boat, was he?
No, this is a different.
Oh.
No, Jay is not with us any longer.
I'd be pissed if he got stranded in Africa.
But Jay and Jill Campbell of South Carolina were part of the group that was left behind. They said that the tour's operator notified the cruise captain that they were going to be late and that they were going to try to get a boat to help them dock. And captain said no part of it. So then this becomes like the greatest race. Well,
yeah.
You know, the
Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
So this is like they're running through, apparently, these passengers have now tried to run through 7 different countries to catch up with the ship. This is like a reality show. So now they're trying to catch the ship to get on board. As of last night, I don't think they were on the ship yet. They're racing. This is insane. One of the American passengers who was left stranded in Africa when their cruise ship left the port without them now says they're unsure whether she even wants to resume the 20-day voyage after Norwegian Cruise Lines
No, go home.
forgot about its basic duty of care. So this comes down to if the tour operator was late getting them back and they did notify the cruise ship,
it doesn't matter.
Should they wait?
The cruise waits for their sanctioned excursions, obviously. But if you do something on your own,
they tell you, they warn you,
and they say, "Don't be late. Don't be late."
They'll
So
leave.
Jill and Jay Campbell and the 6 other passengers racing through 7 different African countries over the past 48 hours to try to get to Senegal, to try to get to the country of Senegal, where the cruise was I guess, docked yesterday morning.
I think the captain doesn't get a lot of opportunities to do this, and he wanted to make an example.
All right,
That's not true.
So I guess they got there in time, but then they were deciding whether they even want to get back on the ship.
Yeah.
That would be awkward. You know,
Race all the way here.
Stragglers. They'd be known in all the...
little awkward, you know?
Norwegian doesn't care if you get back on or not. They tell you what time to leave. We took a cruise to Mexico a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And Pat George, who's an avid cruiser, told me, when you get on the boat before it's takeoff time, get a balcony spot where you can watch the runners. And it was
hysterical.
It was the best part of it.
Get up on the Lido deck.
Yeah, we were
and just watch the people that are trying to run to the ship before it starts taking off from the dock.
Everybody is out there yelling, "Run!
Run!
And then you'll think it's done, and then you'll see one more person coming around the front of the boat, racing down just drunk or late or whatever.
I guess we're getting calls. I love when people call us unsolicited. So bring up the phone screener. We have a call on hold, but hey, I'll grab a couple of calls here.
They also blow the horn to warn you.
They don't want to leave you, but you have to be. They need the port for the next ship. They have a schedule.
800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Andrew, can you look quickly? And if we get any other calls, screen them. But see did they make it on the ship? Because as of last night, they made it to Senegal, but they weren't sure whether they all wanted to get back on the ship because it might be a little uncomfortable. All right. Did anyone listening have this happen to you? Or any thoughts or comments? 800-990-1047. So, Andrew, what are you finding now? What's the latest on this? Turn your mic on.
I'm trying to find out where it says it on here, though.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me know if you find it. All right. All the lines are ringing now. Let me grab Rob. Rob, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Rob. Rob, are you with us? Go ahead.
Yeah. So this happened about 5 years ago. My wife and I went on a Carnival cruise, and one of the stops was Cozumel. And they dropped. We had the boat was parked on the other side of the island, and then you took these old ferry boats, small scuttles, to bring you to the mainland. And then we went to this very nice park that was all marine life and snorkeling and school. Oh, she had the dolphin adventure, where you actually go in the water with the dolphins and the trainer. Yeah. So they said, got to be at the bus stop by 3 o'clock to make it back. And somehow we messed up our watches. I think we didn't change the watch. That's what it was. We were off by an hour.
So the time zone was wrong. You didn't change your watch. Okay.
Right. So now I had to pay for a private taxi because the bus had left. It was like a coach. The taxi came in, and then they still had some lingering people that worked with Carnival, and they were on a walkie-talkie or what seemed like a walkie-talkie. And they said, we have two people. They need to come back. All the shuttles were gone. So we actually had to hire a small island hopper plane. It only had 4 seats in it. So you had the pilot, and this was like you grab the propeller, you push it down.
Oh, man.
And
like a crop duster. Yeah.
Yeah, $400 out of her pocket for that. It was the scariest thing ever, man.
Yeah.
I was just going over the water, and we actually had to land in an international airport, and they cleared our way to land on a small outcropping. And they had a small minivan waiting for us, and they quickly shuttled us back, and we made it back to the show. It was quite an experience.
Wow, sounds...
They do what they can to get you back on, but if you're late, the captain has to go eventually.
Rob, thanks for the call. Look at this. Every line is jammed now. Have you found out, Andrew, did they get back on the ship? Do we know if they all did or if some decided to? Is there any update on that?
They have caught up to the ship.
Okay.
They have reboarded.
What, they did all of them? All 8 of them. Okay, looks like they're all back on the ship.
Did you say one of them was elderly, Roxanne?
Yes, like in her 80s.
Yeah, with like an oxygen tube.
Yeah, nothing like running through 9 African countries at 85 years old.
Valerie in St. Pete. Hey, Valerie, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, MJ. Good morning.
Morning.
Well, the 80-year-old, my understanding from what I've seen is she was off-boarded medically. She was not part of that group.
Okay.
She had a medical, and her family has already said that they were pleased with the way that she was taken care of.
So that's a whole separate deal?
That's a whole separate deal. Yeah.
Roxanne, it's a whole separate deal. Yeah.
Fake news from the
All right.
Roxanne news desk.
More fake news from Roxanne. All right.
And apparently, the 80-year-old, like, she's a world traveler. This is nothing new to her.
All right. So, Valerie, were you involved in something similar?
No, I have not been involved, but I've been on ships where people have been left, and they were saying, they make it extremely clear. There is no doubt in my mind those people knew you have to be back at the ship, especially since they.
Yeah, but if you're in the hands of the excursion operator and something goes wrong and it's delayed, it's not the fault of the passenger, but still, they're going to leave you.
They booked outside of the cruise operator,
Yeah.
and they make it very clear
Yeah.
that you're on your own.
On your own.
I have no sympathy for those people. They just are entitled, think they're special.
Thank you,
right.
Valerie.
She's right.
Valerie is very into cruise etiquette and the rules and regulations. Thanks, Val.
I think people who cruise are into the etiquette. Like my sisters we're going on our Disney cruise, and I'll tell you later.
I'll tell you. Okay. Or
Just finish your story.
Mid-sentence.
Finish your story. All right, just
Okay, she plans everything, and we're going to we're going to Nassau one day. I'm like, Ange, I got us in Nassau. I'll take us around. I know the Bahamas, and she's like, no, we have to do a cruise sanctioned excursion. Well, I finally talked her into it, and now she's going to hear this segment. It is back to the cruise sanctioned one.
Yeah, don't they add a lot of money? Don't they add like a big vig onto the cruise?
Yeah.
It is what it is. You either
I know.
go or don't go. Sit on the boat. Stay at the Tijuana Charlie's or whatever the hell it is.
A couple more here. Peggy and Lutz. Peggy, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Going pretty well this morning. Quickly, though.
I just got off a Norwegian cruise last weekend, and I cruised with Norwegians 24 times. And they are absolutely tell you that if you don't book with Norwegian and your excursion is late, they will leave you.
It's called the leave your ass policy with Norwegian.
Except it's in Norwegian.
If you book with them...
I didn't understand what they said because they were speaking in Norwegian.
We will leave your ass.
Fliegen, flaggen, fugen, flogen. All right, Peggy, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hey, have a great day. All right, look at every line is
a former Norwegian employee.
Richard St. Pete, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Go.
Hey, MJ, longtime listener.
Thanks.
We just got back from a Western Caribbean cruise on Sunday. In Cozumel, which was our last stop, we witnessed up on the Lido deck as where everybody was looking down.
Yep.
The captain will announce the people that are missing because you get your card scanned as you come back on the ship. And we're all waiting. We see this bicycle with a wagon behind it. With these two people in the back of it, wheeling them towards the ship. They only had 5 minutes left.
Oh, wow.
Right. We were going to leave. And they just made it. And as soon as they got on, they brought the ramp in and stuff. And when we were in Belize, we were actually late coming back from our excursion from the Mayan pyramids. We got back 4 minutes early by the hair of our chin, and then there was 3 buses behind us that were running 20 minutes late. The only thing is they were part of the Carnival excursion. If it wasn't Carnival, the captain would have left them.
Thank you. Look at every line is jammed. All right, I'll tell you what. I got to take my break here. We're well over our hour and 20 minutes. Candace, Gina, Danica, everyone, hang on a minute. I'll grab you right after the break. So we'll go back to phones right when we get back. So hold on. Back in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show. I had no idea the phones were going to blow up like this. I would have allotted more time for this. Wow. All right, folks, if your garage door busts, you got to call Banco Overhead Doors. Anything garage door related, Banco. 9:02 at the MJ Morning Show, and as promised, right back to the phones. If you're just tuning in, I had no idea. I would have allotted more time for this. I would have done this story earlier. I had no idea the phones were going to blow up on this. And it's passengers left behind by the cruise ship because you got back to the ship too late from an onshore excursion. And we've got 6 Americans, 2 Australians on this African cruise. And they were late getting back to the ship, and it was not an official sanctioned excursion. They did a private booking, and the ship left their butts. And they had to race through like 7 African countries to try to catch up with the ship in Senegal. And I think Andrew said they finally, caught up with the ship after going through 7 African countries to try to catch it. And the phones have blown up here on people late getting back to the cruise ship, and the ship pulls off. All right, let me grab, I've got Candace, Gina, Danica, and Anthony. Everyone, hang on. I'm coming to you. Let me grab, we had an MSC cruise commercial in that in that commercial break. So that was great timing for MSC cruises.
That's awesome.
All right, let me grab Gina first, because Gina in Valrico used to work for Norwegian. Gina, is that correct?
Yes. Hi, MJ. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, Gina.
This was back in the late 80s, early 90s when the Norway, it's now retired, 3 football fields long.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful ship. You had to take huge tenders to get from the ship to the land, right?
Yep.
So as an employee, we had to wait for all of the passengers to leave first, and then we would be able to leave the ship to do our own thing. And the stories, I tell you, a lot. You have to remember, though, Norwegian owned, unfortunately, Americans that were employed on the ship were not, I would say, not given a lot of different benefits to enjoy the ship or to enjoy the excursions out. So when we waited, we would see many, many, many people that were on the ship having fun. It's like St. John, St. Bart's, all the saints, okay?
Yep.
And so they would do excursions outside of the Norway, and they make you sign, and I will tell this back in the day, I'm not sure now, but they make you sign a waiver stating if you do anything outside of the Norway excursions, then you take full responsibility of getting back on the ship, getting your way back to the port to take the tender back. Well, as employees, we would finally get off the ship and do our little scooter rides and do what have you, and we would run into a lot of the people on the ship as guests because we see them out and about, right, on this 7-week cruise. I mean, a 1-week cruise for 7 days. and we would tell them, you need to get back if because we're getting ready to leave, because we had to get there first, right? Employees had to be back on first. And so we get heads up, and many, many, many times, oh, we'll be fine, they'll wait. And we're saying, no, they won't, because we have to be at St. John's, in so many hours.
Yeah, they won't wait.
No, we have Red Skeleton coming on to perform, or Susan Anton to perform.
Oh, what freaking year were you? Wait a minute, what year were you on?
Tony Curtis playing too?
Red Skeleton?
Marty.
Red Skeleton is now a skeleton. All right.
He is a red skeleton.
Oh, my God. What, was this like 1960s or 70s?
No, I said late 80s, early 90s.
The Everly Brothers were getting ready to perform.
Buddy Holly.
All right. Gina, thank you.
Hey, Gina, great phone call. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day, all.
Gina, have a good one. Let me grab Candace in Riverview. Oh, Candace and her husband, apparently they had a problem. Hey, Candace, what happened with you getting late to a cruise ship?
Good morning, MJ and everybody. We are always the runners, so this isn't our first.
I love it.
You're the runner family.
So my husband, we just wander off, and we lose track of time. So last February, we were on Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
And we're in St. John's, Antigua. We went with a group of 15 other people. So they were with us. We did excursions all the other days. And this one in St. John's, we decided to get our own, taxi guy. And we went around for people recommended on the other side of the beach, hung out all day. We got our drinks, sat at the beach. And when we were headed back, they had the music cranked up. They're having this huge street party. It was just huge. So we're going through, we're like, yeah, because we're having the time of our life. Getting back to the boat, watching the time. And here they come. They're like, we're giving samples, and it's the Rude Boy drink. So I had been buying those this whole cruise.
Right.
When we would get off on port. They're very good. We want to try to figure out how to bring them to the States, actually. But so we stopped, and the guy was like, hey, I know them. And he's like, bring them some Rude Boys. They brought us 3 6-packs of Rude Boys. So there me and my husband we're like, yes, yay, stickers. I got stickers. We're driving back to the port. They're doing the horn. But there's other boats. So we're like, okay. But we're hustling it.
Oh, so you think, the horns that they're blowing, that's not our horn. No, that's another ship's horn. That's not our horn. Well, guess what? It's your horn, right?
It was our horn. So we were running, and everybody got those seats that they said, get a balcony. And we knew several people from the boat because we talked to everybody.
So this is like a spectator sport.
It is.
You watch for the runners trying to make it to the ship before it pulls out of port.
Yeah, so they were yelling, run, Jimmy and Candace, run!
See, I didn't know the people's names, so we were all yelling, run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest, run.
Forrest, run. Everybody was doing it.
That's hysterical.
They knew us by our name, and so...
Hey, is that your husband back there?
Yeah, that's my husband. I told him I'm waiting on the show to get on the radio. He's like, for what? Give me a break. And then he's listening and laughing too. So now he's enjoying it.
That's great. Candace, thanks but you made it back to the ship, right?
We made it back, and the guys that were they pulled down the ladder thing, and they came and ran and grabbed the bottles and everything.
I was going to say, did you drop any of your Rude Boy alcoholic beverages?
And they were laughing but they came and they grabbed my arm and they grabbed the bottles from him and they ran with us.
And literally put the shit
And we barely, probably by 3 seconds, made it.
Candace is not letting her husband get a word in edgewise.
Yeah. Sorry, he can call in on his own time.
Candace and hubby, thanks for calling in.
Thank you. You guys are the best. Have the best day.
Thank you. You too. All right. Anthony and then Danica. Then we got to move on. I got a celebrity pile today. Oh, we got to recognize very funny guy with one of the funniest scenes in any movie has passed away. So I'll give you a little hint. You know what this is from?
You jackass.
Oh, yeah.
You jackass.
Anthony and Bradenton, second to last call here. Again, people getting back to the cruise ship late, like the 6 Americans and 2 Aussies that got left in Africa on a 21-day cruise. They finally reunited, I guess, yesterday? After running through 7 countries to try to catch up with their ship because they were late getting back from an excursion. Anthony, Bradenton, you're up. Go.
Good morning, guys. Love the show.
Thanks.
So my wife and I, we were on a cruise last year, and it was a 7-day cruise. It left out of Miami, and ironically, it was an MSC cruise.
We just had a commercial.
Exactly. So we're in Cozumel. Get out. We're doing our own thing. Go to a jewelry store. My wife buys a piece of jewelry, some pearls. All right, so we're walking around, doing a little more shopping, stuff like that. When she looks at the pearls, we went to another store to make sure that they were for real. They weren't real. Go back to the place where we bought them from. We'll call the police.
The old case of the fake pearls.
Long story short, we were 27 minutes late. We were the last ones on the ship. The cruise ship MSC waited for us. I guess just already called or something like that. When we arrived, they brought us right to the gangway in the police vehicle with lights on and everything.
Yeah, and then the captain said,
"You jackass!"
I mean, you're lucky they waited.
And we were able to board. And MSC Cruise Line, I mean, I don't know if that's their normal protocol, but
that was nice. Well, guess what? You're lucky you were not on Norwegian in Africa because they left those 8 people's asses. And yes, it has been confirmed the 8 passengers in Africa have reboarded the ship.
Thank God. I mean, MJ, you're going on and on like it was malicious. I mean, they had a time to be back. They waited as long as they possibly could. Then they got to go.
Anthony, you got lucky. That's good. That's very good customer service, but it would have been your fault.
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure. Definitely.
With your fake pearls. That's what you get for buying from some street vendor in Cozumel.
Yeah, you know,
For real.
Go to the Mickey Moto dealer, okay?
No, I'm going to go to the Golden Diamond Source next time.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Golden Diamond Source or International Diamond Center. So, both great advertisers here on the MJ Morning Show. So, IDC or Golden Diamond. All right, buddy. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys.
You bet. All right, last call on this. Danica in Lakeland. Danica, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Last call. We got to move on. Hello, Danica.
Good morning. A couple weeks ago, we went to Freeport, Bahamas on the cruise.
Yeah, which line was it?
It was Margaritaville.
Margaritaville, is that a
new cruise line?
It's a new cruise line. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Right. So we didn't book an excursion. We're like, we're just going to go and see. We heard that there was a restaurant within walking distance of the port. So we get off, and this taxi driver who has his family from the cruise is like, hey, we're going to a beach 20 minutes away. There's shopping. There's restaurants. You guys want to go? We're like, yeah, sure. So instead of walking to the restaurant, we get in the taxi with them, and they bring us to this Pirates Cove beach. And we're there for about 2 hours. We weren't really planning on going to the beach, so we didn't bring anything. And we want to come back, and we go to where we were dropped off, and the lady that's in charge of our taxi, she's like, yeah, you're just going to have to wait till we get 6 people. We're like, what? And she's like, yeah, we're not taking you back. We had to sit and wait for 2.5 hours for 4 more people to come in order for them to take us back.
Oh, my God. And did you miss the ship?
We didn't miss the ship, but we had to be there at 3:30, and we got there at like 3:15.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you had some time to spare, but that sucks. All right, well, sorry that happened, Danica. Thanks for listening.
You're welcome.
All right, there we go. I had no idea that so many listeners had, cruise ship tardiness stories.
Look, when these entitled Americans go to these foreign countries, it's a whole different set of rules. Taxi driver's not going to move on your go.
And a follow-up, my sister is listening. She said, LMAO, we are not going to get stuck in the Bahamas, Roxanne, so I am in charge.
Your sister's listening right now?
Yeah.
Hi, Ange.
Is that your sister's name, Angie?
Angela.
Hi, Angela. I don't think I've ever met Angela, have I?
No, she loves you.
Yeah, well, I don't think I ever have.
She likes you. She loves me.
All right, I have a couple of celebrity things that we have to do here, folks, including a passing. So I played this audio bite.
You jackass!
Do you know who that is?
Who is it?
Come on.
He's a character actor. I don't know his name.
Oh, famous scene. From which movie is this from?
Hey, Gilmore, you suck, you jackass. You're gonna need a blanket and suntan lotion, because you're never gonna get off that beach. Just the way you never got into the NHL, you jackass. You will not make this putt, you jackass.
The Happy Gilmore guy?
Yes.
Nice shooting, soldier.
Yeah, that's Joe Flaherty. Remember, he came up through Second City TV. Also, Catherine O'Hara. Remember?
Oh, I love her.
Oh, yeah, she was on SCTV as well.
Okay, yeah.
John Candy came out of that era.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. The two twins, the Canadian guys.
Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy. Well, also, both. The Schitt's Creek guys. I mean, they came out as SCTV, and
SCTV was great.
Yeah.
Joe Flaherty, who was the heckler to Adam Sandler in Happy Gilmore, has died, and Adam Sandler had nothing but great things to say. That it couldn't have been more fun than to have Joe Flaherty heckle me on the golf course. Yeah, he passed away 82 years old. Yeah, his death was reported yesterday. So Joe Flaherty, great character actor, funny as heck in Happy Gilmore, great movie.
You jackass.
Yep. And The Price is Wrong, Bob. In fact, do we have the big brawl sound effects? Go to the MJ sound effects and bring up Big Brawl, because one of the big fight sound effects that we use is actually the Bob Barker Adam Sandler fight,
because it's the reactions. Oh,
in Happy Gilmore. So you put it up here. Listen to this, right here. Same movie. But those sound effects, that's when Bob Barker and Adam Sandler are punching it out. The price is wrong, Bob. Yeah. Come on down, Bob. Anyway, so rest in peace, Joe Flaherty, gone at 82 years old. And you might not know the name, but you know the face. And, of course, from Happy Gilmore, you jackass.
I received an apology.
Uh-oh, hang on a minute. Wrong one. Right here.
You jackass.
Yeah, there we go.
You jackass.
There we have it. So rest in peace.
You're the jackass for messing up your audio
I
bites.
did. I'm the jackass for playing the wrong audio bite. Now, I thought I remembered this. Didn't the cast of the TV show Community, which ran for multiple seasons on NBC, right?
Right, yes.
Community. Didn't the cast, hate Chevy Chase for some reason? Weren't there all kinds of problems?
He was only on that show for a season, I think.
I thought it was a little longer than that. But Joel McHale, who I like him.
I like him, too.
Yeah, Joel McHale, who was on Community, he confirms apparently that they're going to do a Community movie, but that Chevy Chase is not invited.
Chevy Chase has grown into an old curmudgeon.
Is that what it is?
I believe so. He has a bad rep.
While talking to the New York Post about the potential of returning for a Community movie, that if they do it, I guess there are talks.
He's on for 4 seasons.
Yeah, that Chevy Chase would not be invited because I guess the other cast members thought that he was a jackass, right?
He was a jerk, apparently.
Yeah, so what did he do?
So a couple of years ago, he went on a Mark Maron's podcast.
Yeah.
And he said the show wasn't very funny, wasn't funny enough for him, wasn't hard-hitting enough, and he just didn't want to be surrounded by those people.
Okay.
I'm sure he was a prick to work with as well, so it's probably mutual that Chevy doesn't want to be a part of it either.
Yeah, I've heard that about Chevy Chase, that he can be an ornery, nasty curmudgeon, which, you see him as Fletch, or you see him as
on vacation,
Clark Griswold. Yeah. I mean, you just think of this happy, jolly, very amenable, pleasant, funny guy. But I guess in real life, Chevy Chase could be a grisly bastard,
That's comedians for you.
He's the one amigo that is a jerk now. The other two are just great.
Martin Short and Steve Martin, right? Yeah. The other amigos.
Even though their live show stunk on ice.
I'll tell you what I could not get into. The Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, I tried to get into that too. I had
Yeah.
people that I respect give me good recommendations on it.
Man, I just could not get into that at all.
When you say people you respect, who? The Pope?
I saw a horrible movie I want to recommend.
You saw a horrible movie you'd like to recommend.
What is it?
Okay.
And it stars, what's his face? He plays a radio guy.
Oh, yeah. What's his face? Yes.
Mel Gibson. He plays a radio show host who's it is so bad.
What movie is it?
I forget what it's called. I got to look it up. I want you to watch it, though.
Tell you what.
It's called On the Line.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you what I can recommend, which was good. Has anyone seen that Nicolas Cage movie, Dream Scenario?
No, what's that about?
It's about a dream scenario.
I knew you were going to.
Yeah, we watched that on Saturday night, and what a weird, interesting movie. I've always liked Nicolas Cage. I know that he's done some good stuff. He's done some bombs. But if you want to watch something, a couple of good movie recommendations here quickly before we take our final break. So, Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage, I thought was phenomenal, and he plays just a kind of a different part. It's just a really crazy scenario. And then Blow the Man Down. Anyone see that?
No.
Yeah, Blow the Man Down. That was also really, really good.
Have you seen that, Froggy?
Thank God he threw the down in there.
All right, listen.
Yeah, otherwise, that seems like it's like a top of Froggy's wish list.
Write both of those down. So Dream Scenario with Nicolas Cage and then Blow the Man Down. Both really good movie recommendations. All right, quick break. We have an update on Angie Harmon and the Instacart driver that shot her dog. We have an update on that. Also, Shannon Doherty, Christina Applegate, Bill Maher, not cool, dude. We'll explain coming up. And then there's a whole Saturday Night Live controversy over something that was discussed on a message board. All right. Oh, and then Seinfeld says that somebody was a total jerk to work with.
Yeah,
But I think that this might be just kind of a publicity stunt, so I'll explain. Hold on. We're back in minutes with the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show next here on Q105. So. The update on the Angie Harmon dog shooting situation and a couple of big celebrities with problems next. MJ Morning Show on Q105, and the phones are lighting up because I guess people heard something. I don't know what people think they might have heard. I have no idea. I'm not sure what people think they heard and why they're calling up, but all the phones lit up. I would probably suggest that you keep listening and stay tuned to just keep listening to the MJ Morning Show and Q105 because something. Yes,
what's wrong? Froggy, what's wrong?
Come get me.
Where are you?
I had to go outside to pee.
No,
we have bathrooms, dude.
Yeah, he had to go outside to.
I don't use the bathrooms here. Let me in.
All right, I'll go get you. I gotta go get. He locked himself out. I gotta go. I'll be right back in a minute.
Dude, I mean, what a disruption! Froggy's locked out. He wasn't using the bathroom. He was.
There are porta potties out back there. You've never used those? They're very private. Very nice.
He went outside to medicate. All right.
I think he's
going to walk in smelling like a grow house or a dispensary in the next 15 seconds.
It is a beautiful. Is it a beautiful day out? But aren't we supposed to get bad weather? Maybe he's enjoying the last.
He's going to drag a whole ganja waft in here momentarily. 5, 4.
Are you counting down?
3.
Okay.
2.
Tell me. Yep.
1. Here he comes.
Boy, you were right on time.
I was. That was a good guess. Hey.
There's nothing to smell. I went to use the facilities.
Yeah, okay.
I told him there are nice porta potties out there. They're very clean.
Yeah.
No, I just go right behind the QIK van.
Yeah, the family bong room. You know. All right.
There's one area you could pee back there and nobody could see you.
All right. You stop it, please.
In between the vans.
All right. It's the MJ Morning Show here on Q105, and the final chunk of the show. You only have a short amount of time. Last day. Hey, Andrew, when is the cutoff for the Madonna concert clock watch? Does it go through like 5 o'clock tomorrow? If you can check the rules. But, folks, get on this right now. How would you like to win a $1,000 gift card to our friends at IDC? How would you like to get a $1,000 gift card from our friends at International Diamond Center? It is easy. Just tell us what time Madonna will show up on stage tomorrow in downtown Tampa at Amalie Arena. Madonna is notoriously late getting on stage. Showtime is set for 8:30. There's a quick opening act with Bob the drag queen or something.
Yes, who I'm sure is very talented.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry I'm not seeing his act.
Well, listen, bottom line is you tell us what time Madonna will take the stage. It's the MJ Morning Show Q105 Madonna Concert Clock Watch. You go to mjmorningshow.com right now. Go to our website, mjmorningshow.com. Look for the Madonna graphic and Madonna Concert Clock Watch and fill out the form and just predict what time Madonna will hit the stage. If you nail it or if you're the closest, you'll win a $1,000 gift card to IDC, International Diamond Center. And in case there are multiple guesses, I'm sure there's just going to be a random drawing if you have multiple people that are correct. So, hey, $1,000 gift card to International Diamond Center. That's a no-brainer. Go to mjmorningshow.com right now and enter the Madonna Concert Clock Watch. Got an update on Angie Harmon. And, of course, yesterday we spent a good deal of time talking about this. And, of course, Angie Harmon from Law and Order days, now since retired, but she had a crazy story that the Instacart driver up near Charlotte, North Carolina, that was delivering her grocery order shot her dog and killed the dog. I mean, I'm sorry for the downer here, but now, according to TMZ, Angie Harmon dog killing still a mystery and the cops aren't talking. So TMZ says that they've made repeated calls to the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police Department asking them why they concluded that the delivery man acted in self-defense and it was justified in the Instacart guy shooting Angie Harmon's dog.
I mean, somebody from the police agency has to be available. Somebody discharged a weapon inside city limits. You know, you can't just go around shooting guns.
Yeah, the driver told officers that a dog attacked him while he was at the residence and that he defended himself by firing a single gunshot, striking and mortally wounding the dog. Actress Angie Harmon from Law and Order days. I mean, that's the last thing you'd think, that you have a Instacart delivery coming, and then the guy shoots your dog. That's terrible. Well, police told TMZ the case was closed, refused to release the delivery man's statement or alleged injuries. I would imagine that that's a matter of public record.
You can simply request that.
I would think so, but there's a little bit of mystery and intrigue. There is speculation that the Instacart driver is the brother of the police chief. No, I'm kidding. I'm no.
This goes all the way to the top.
I'm kidding. I'm joking around. But listen, I feel bad for Angie Harmon. I think she's a very likable actress. I'm sure her Q score was pretty high. And her adorable little dog is no more because can you imagine? You think you got some milk, some eggs, you got some Kraft macaroni and cheese, you got some hummus coming, some Ithaca hummus in the order. You got some wheat thins, got some broccoli, got some Pop-Tarts.
What flavor?
Broccoli and Pop-Tarts.
And a 45. Oof, that's terrible. All right, anyway, thoughts go out to Angie Harmon. And then some big names, in TV, entertainment. Shannon Doherty of 90210 fame. Shannon Doherty, I guess, we've known for a while that she was cancer-stricken. I feel bad for her as well. But now she says that she's downsizing and letting all of her possessions go because she thinks that, her days are very, very numbered.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I feel bad. She has stage 4 breast cancer. I feel so bad for Shannon Doherty, but, she's, pretty open about it. And now apparently she's downsizing and getting rid of all of her possessions as she's counting down the time.
That's depressing.
Wonder if she tried the Rick Simpson oil. Yeah. Hey, some people have had unbelievable success with that, along with other more conventional treatment. And then Christina Applegate. Man, I like Christina Applegate. Always have. The days of Married with Children. She had that Netflix series, which was really good. What was that called?
I don't know. I didn't know she had one.
Oh, yeah. Fester, do a Google search for Christina Applegate Netflix series. Michelle and I watched it. I think it was 3 seasons. And then the final season, Dead to Me. Dead to Me, really, really good. I mean, very enjoyable. So Netflix, Dead to Me, highly recommended. It's 3 seasons. And, her affliction with her multiple sclerosis got very bad. And, she had some issues in the 3rd season, but they got through it. And I highly recommend it. I find her to be fantastic and likable. But her battle with MS, she says she's in a really tough relapse right now. And she claims she has not been able to shower in 3 weeks. Oh. So thoughts for Christina Applegate. And I hope that things get better. Now, this was kind of a jerk move. In fact, I might even say to Bill Maher,
"You jackass!"
Steve O of, Jackass fame.
Jackass. Of Jackass fame?
Steve O of
Jackass.
He was being interviewed by Bill Maher. So Steve O is on the wagon.
Yeah, for like a decade.
Yeah, he's sober. And while he's doing an interview with Bill Maher on this podcast, Bill Maher will not stop smoking pot in front of Steve O. That's kind of a douchey move,
That's not cool.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, different people have different tolerances for what's around them.
Oh, wait, he was on Bill Maher's podcast?
No. So Steve O claimed that Bill Maher refused to do a podcast with him because Steve O asked him not to smoke marijuana around him during the podcast.
Oh, okay.
He smokes marijuana around
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
and drinks.
So Bill Maher, is he like just this giant pothead or what?
Yeah, his podcast, he interviews people and he's just odd. He's always smoking a bunch of weed and he gets drunk and
Wow. Yeah.
he's a weird dude.
Andrew had a good idea. It should be Bill Maher's podcast instead of podcast. Froggy, you can be a guest on that. You'll fit right in. Anything else before we get out of here today on a Wednesday? Hey, weather is supposed to get nasty. So the last I heard, really, the window for nastiness in the immediate Tampa Bay area is 1 to 5 p.m. Weather's going to get nasty quicker and earlier up in like Citrus and Hernando and northern Pasco. And then between 1 and 5, nasty weather, wind, a lot of rain, maybe like 1 to 2 inches in Pinellas and Hillsborough. So wind and rain, 1 to 5 p.m., so plan accordingly later on. I didn't get to the Seinfeld thing. I guess we'll do that tomorrow. Also, there's an SNL story which has really ramped up some comments online. We'll get to that coming up tomorrow. Folks, have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the MJ Morning Show on Q105, and let's be careful out there.